Hello, StarCraft fans. Once again, we are back with another group from Season 3. This time it's Group D. We've got two Terrans in here. We've got a single Zerg and a single Protoss. Sharp, 815 Ssak, and Ruin. This is going to be an interesting one. Ssak generally does very well versus Terran and Protoss, but versus Zerg, I mean, you saw it last season. He had some of the most interesting Terran versus Zerg games I've ever seen. Sharp, I think, here's the clear favorite. He's on fire these days. But the question is who's going to make it out in second, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the bracket. So we've still got 4 more groups remaining after this one. Shine, Movie Scan, Hyun in Group E. Group F, Hero, Mighty, JYJ, and Yoon. Group G, Mini Cop, Gameo, and YSC. And in Group H, actually probably the group I'm most interested in, simply because Paco, man, where the hell has he been? Haven't seen him in a while. And Royal, you know, he can be hit or miss. Ample always does pretty damn good, and so does Noob. So that could be quite an interesting group. Let's take a look at today's matches. Of course, we know the first match is going to be Sharp versus 815, and then Ssak versus Ruin. So let's just get it straight into game 1. So in the bottom left, we do have Sharp, and meanwhile in the bottom right, we do have 815. Now 815, as I've mentioned before, he's a pretty crazy Zerg. He can do all types of styles, generally does a lot of all-ins, but he had some big macro games. It was either last season or the season before. I can't remember exactly when I saw him play, but I remember him having some big macro on Retro in particular. And this is a map where you do wall quite often as Terran. And versus someone like 815, walling can be good, but also I have seen 815 just immediately go Hydra Den and just bust down the wall. So it's kind of tough to wall against him, because if you don't scout him, he may still all in it. And there's going to be the depot for the beginning of the wall. And I think we saw, was it JYJ last season go like CC first on this map? I can't remember exactly, but someone did go CC first. We did see Bishop last week go for the command center, not on location. It was slightly off, kind of through, was it Beast? Off a little bit. We could see something like that, but with Zerg being bottom right, we're not going to need to off-center that command center. Racks coming down, hatchery coming down, everything's very normal. I think if you're going to go pool first on this map, it kind of has to be a 4 pool, because if it's not, how's it going to be effective versus any wall in? That's just, in my opinion. We've got SCV being sent out. Nothing unusual going on so far. Okay, I guess he scouted the entrance of his base, saw no Overlord, and hooks around to bottom right. I mean, looking at the Overlord position over at top right, I mean, he calculated it perfectly, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this, because what if the Overlord hugged the wall? I don't think you would have seen it, but either way, he gets rewarded as he finds 815 with the first scout. But there's a drone here already. That's kind of interesting that it was pulled at this exact moment, because this is so late that I don't think it actually was intended to be a scouting drone. I'm not sure exactly the intention of it actually being there. He didn't even keep it down on the low ground, ends up sending it back to his gas. Either way, command center coming down, depot coming down, no Marines just yet, and with the skipping of Marines, he does have options. He could go into straight gas, try and go straight +1 weapon. He could go into delayed mech. He could go instantly second racks and, you know, build up a ton of units ASAP. And okay, there we go. Gas, but this is an eBay gas timing. Not gonna be for mech, that's for sure. Still no Marines, so he is powering pretty freaking hard. There's the eBay. And 815, he's still powering also. He's built no Lings. He still doesn't know where Terran is. And he does have just 2 for now. That's gotta be a... Oh. guess I'm wrong. I saw the SCV come back from the natural, and I was thinking, I bet this guy's going to build a second racks, but still no second racks. No that's got to be the academy right there. Yep, there it goes. So fast +1, fast academy, very low marine count. This is going to be intended to get a lot of damage done in the mid game, have a really strong pushing marine count. And the onus is going to be on 815 to kind of come back in this game, because already Terran has got away with absolute murder. Of course, 815 didn't overbuild Lings, but I would not be happy to see Terran just have 2 Marines at this point and be completely safe. Now, in response, 815 sending that drone out. I actually think 815 is one of those players that takes mid bases quite often. So that's where I'm going to expect to see the hatchery. He still could go to top right, but I really do think this is going to be a mid-right base. Looks like that is going to be the case. And luckily for Sharp, he's already out on the map with an SCV. He's going to spot this immediately. Now, because he rushed +1 weapon and really had a low marine count, I don't think he can necessarily punish this with like a, you know, a 10 marine 2 medic push. But he definitely can do something around like the 7-8 minute mark where all his upgrades start kicking in. I don't know what those Zerglings are doing up there, but doesn't find anything. Maybe he's scouting for proxy stuff. I mean, kind of unusual to proxy something over there. I could have understood if it was proxied over on the right side, since you know Zerg is likely to expand over there. But to proxy something at top left, I don't know about that. And as expected, we've got the 4th racks coming down. So Sharp going to be shooting up in marine count very quickly. What are we at? We're at basically 530. Muta should be out in the field in just a second. And the SCV, not only does it find mid-right, gets into the main also. Now, he doesn't have to build scanners if he doesn't want to. Immediate gas at the 3rd base. Okay, so this looks like it's going to be heavy Muta. That's the first 2 Mutalisks. A couple more out in the field, up to 5. All right, so going to be one-shotting those Marines. Turret's already up, though. And right, we'll see if 815 can get any damage done onto this mineral line, or the Marines in general. I think in the games we saw of, was it Beast versus Bishop? Beast? Well, a lot of the games he was facing 2-port Wraith, but in the one game he did face off versus Bishop, he didn't really get that much damage done with his Mutalisk. I mean, it was decent, but it wasn't like crazy. But we'll see if 815 can do something here. Terran's SCV count is surprisingly low for how he opened. Just 32 workers at 630. I was expecting it to be something around like 35 to 36. So I guess he cut slightly here. But +1 weapon should be done. Range should be done. And Terran should be on the move in just a second. He's got, what is that, like 15 or 16 Marine Medic? So it's pretty freaking strong. Uh-oh, lost vision of the Marines. Okay, now he knows it's in the center of the map. Now this could get dangerous because it's still 10 Mutalisks, even though there's not a lot of Zerglings. The Bio Ball isn't huge either. Those were some good pickoffs. Oh, he's going to eat that army up. Nope, it's going to be able to sync up with the remaining troops out on the map. And that means that this is going to be 2 groups of Marine Medic. And this is what I was talking about in the beginning. This is going to be an incredibly tough army to stop now. He needs to pick off medics, is what he really needs to do. Oh, another Muta. So he's lost 3 Mutas for literally 1 Marine. Half of the army branches off and stems into the mid-right, and this base is going to be probably donezo. He's going to at least get a lot of drones here. Yeah, he gets, what, every single drone? And at the same time, he's going to hit the natural. This is really rough. He's going to lose Mutas here. He's going to lose this Overlord push, potentially put him into supply block. There's no Sunkens because Zerg was just all in Mutas. This game's probably over. Oh no, the Mutas are all split. Oh, this is a disaster. Just focusing the drones. Okay, I guess the game's not over just yet, but it's pretty over at this point. Starport's about to complete. Science facility going to be coming in just a second. Terran still has 4 barracks, so he still has, obviously, a lot of production. Zerg lost a lot of mutas. I don't even know if he can dive bomb the main, but if he dive bombs the main, Terran can probably just counter and win the game. Zerg knows that, and that's why he's turning around right now, because he knows, Terran will just transfer their SCVs, but I'm going to definitely lose either my natural or my third base. Another Mutalist dies. This is so far not the game for 815 with his Muta Micro. Even the low-targeted Mutas are getting, low-health Mutas are getting targeted down by those Marines, so he loses 2 more. And, he's got to start worrying about +1 armor at this point. Okay, I guess this is technically going to work, but... Well, actually, that was a good trade. He really did get a lot and didn't lose that much, but I'm still worried that even that trade is not enough. And now the real problem is we've gone from 33 SCVs up to 44, which means if Sharp just decides to start flooding racks instead of taking a third base, if you're having trouble stopping 4 racks, I can tell you 7 racks is going to be near impossible. Now maybe can take an opportunity to get into this mineral line. Nope. He is going to take so much damage here. That one turret is even in range of the mutas. Oh, this is Disaster City. He may just GG out of this. Well, he killed a lot. Actually killed way more than expected, but his mutas are so damaged now. He got 5 SCVs. That's nice. 6, 7. Okay, he needed that, but... in the beginning, when we saw the third base get taken with the third gas immediately, I told you it was going to be mass mutas. There's nothing behind this. It is literally still pure mutas. I haven't seen a Hydra Den anywhere. I haven't seen a Queen's Nest anywhere. Yeah, it's just pure lair tech, just mutas. He has to win with this army. But Vessels are out, not going to be out. They are out. He just probably needs like 10 more seconds of energy. Or he doesn't need any energy as the mutas just run in and almost all of them get taken down. $88. He knows that he doesn't need it. Oh my gosh. Well, just how it goes, and that means it's going to be easy win for Sharp. The beginning of the game was just too powerful for him. Gets away with no Marines. Straight eBay, straight Academy. Just crazy econ. Zerg didn't even scout. Pretty rough. And let's get into game 2 now. This is going to be Ssak versus Ruin, a TVP. Okay, in the bottom left, or top right, we do have Ruin. And in the bottom left, we do have Ssak. So Ssak was at Season 1 of StarCastTV Star League. We saw him face off versus Snow a couple times. And even though I think he lost the series, he had this really strong, gasless, immediate +1 weapon. Like an insanely fast +1 weapon for gasless. What was it? It was still like a 4-minute armory. It was pretty absurd. Straight into 7 fact, just basically a maxed out 2 base push. Incredibly effective, but more often these days we've been seeing Terran players get away from the fast upgrades. I guess with Flash being back, he started to kind of bring that type of style back, but I'm not too sure what to really expect here as far as build orders for Ssak. Will he go the upgrades, or will he, play the 5 fact that we had been seeing for the past few months or a year? Ruin, meanwhile, he's got that pylon positioned in a way that I think that this is just going to be gate. Oh, as he queues up 2 more workers, this may just be 12 Nexus. And he's gotten the legendary cross scout position versus Terran. So this is going to be effective now. Okay, Ssak, when he sent out that fast SCV, I was like, whoa, that's really quick. Is he going to scout the center and potentially go 14 CC? But that is not the case. Instead, puts it in position for a semi-wall. And that means that this is definitely going to be gasless from him. And I've kind of wavered back and forth between what I like the most versus 12 Nexus. I think with 11 gas, you can obviously get damage done. Your Econ's obviously hurt. But at least you can kill workers. At least you can force the Protoss to build units. But in this situation, Protoss is not going to build almost any units, assuming that they scout. But at the same time, Terran's going to have big Econ with the gasless. But the thing is, at least if I was playing Protoss and I saw Terran immediately gasless expand, I would just triple Nexus. That's the downside, in my opinion. But we'll see if Ruin actually wants to go for that. He's sending the probe out. SC going to go bottom right, not going to see anything. Ruin did innovate the gate forge, but not going to be a forge this time. It will be a double gate, so he's at least going to have the potential to defend, you know, like an incoming Vulture Marine push. But we of course know that's impossible. And he goes for the cross scout, and we'll see Terran is going gasless, which means that Protoss can now build no zealots and feel amazing. Even sees that the Rax isn't blinking. So he knows that even if it wasn't a gasless, this guy doesn't have Marines. So dream opener for Ruin. Ssak is already playing from a slight deficit, in my opinion. We've got probably the cybernetics, right? But cybernetics, but it was really on the outskirts of that pylon. For a second I thought, wow, is that already another pylon? But no. Now, really the question for me is, what's the follow-up for Ruin? Because he knows there's no incoming push. He could skip range. He could go straight Robo. He could go straight Nexus. He could do a variety of things. One Marine push. I actually like this move. It forces Protoss to have built at least something. But it's not going to get any damage done. In fact, that SCV... Oh, I thought he was going to die. And probe, well, SCV confirms there's no range, but isn't going to confirm anything else, I don't think. I don't think he's going to see the Robo come down. I don't think he's going to see, you know, potentially a Stargate or a Citadel come down. I think it could be, yep, it's Robo. There's no way that it's anything other than Robo. So, as expected, skipping of range straight into Robo. Ssak is going into the fast second factory. I didn't see an armory anywhere. He also doesn't have his nat gas, which leads me to believe that this is not going to be heavy upgrades. So maybe he'll transition this, you know, big eco opener into some type of push. There's the immediate add-on. What's that SCV doing at the top of the base? Is that going to be a starport? No. Oh, we'll see. That's going to be a starport. Actually, I don't know if he spent gas for that. That's either a starport or an eBay. I don't think it's an eBay. Yeah, it's a starport. Okay, we've seen players like Flash do this, where they open 2-fact into straight starport. But I'm not too sure how well this is going to work out, because this was a 450 starport. Kind of late, to be honest with you. And in my experience, having late dropships, they don't really do much damage. Of course, because Protoss has units in position. I like what Ruin's already doing, setting up some pylons around the center of the map to try and get, you know, a little bit of vision. Potentially catch a drop. And I like his, I think it was a Zealot on the right side of the map. I mean, even though he's not going to be engaging units over there, he's at least, you know, going back and forth, spotting for drops or potential run-bys. And there's a pylon on the right side also, so really good vision and deep vision for Ruin. I already think that Ssak's in a little bit of trouble here, because I don't expect this dropship to really get in and do damage, especially if that's another pylon that goes down at bottom right, which it does. Now, Ruin pokes in and sees there's no tank here. I think he may have even seen the Vulture. If you're going to be building Vultures off of a gasless, what else can it be other than a drop? I think that Ssak has already kind of tipped his hand as Ruin backs off. Speed comes in. I don't think 3 Vultures are going to win this battle. Oh! No, yeah, you need to get back into position. I thought that there was going to be a gap. I don't know about this. Oh, wow, look at that. No damage at all. Okay, he's going to lose 1 goon. Doesn't matter. 3rd Nexus comes down. These are all completely safe. And he should have his Observer out pretty soon. He also lost no probes during all that. Now, of course, Vultures are not a big commitment, but he built so many of them that there's gotta be a follow-up for it. You can't just build vultures and have no tanks unless you're doing some type of pressure play that keeps Protoss back, and that pressure play has to be the drop. Now, the pylon is going to see the dropship, so already Ruin is in an amazing spot. Just needs to get some goons at the natural, which he already has. One probe dies, two. Good multitask here from Ssak. He kind of forced Ruin into a weird position, you know, trying to engage those vultures at the entrance of the natural. Gets into the main, gets, what is that, 2 probes, got like 2 or 3 at the natural. So he evens up the worker count. That was nice. And Terran did lose quite a lot of vultures, but I still think Ruin's in a good spot with his 3rd base. This is going to be defended also. I will say this. Ssak is kind of lucky that this was not like a 3 or 4 gate follow-up with like Reaver. Because if it was, instead of the fast Nexus, Ruin could have countered, and Terran literally has 2 tanks and just a handful of vultures left over. So Terran would have died, but he's not going to get punished. Instead, he has massive eco. Look how many SCVs he has. Already sitting at 55. That is crazy. And he's got his... yeah, command center's done, right? So he's going to plop that down, get the 3rd base up. And his eco is ballistic. So actually, Ssak, despite not getting much damage done with the vultures, and despite, you know, opening tons of vultures in the beginning, he's not going to get punished for it and will have a massive follow-up. He should explode in factories pretty soon. Ruin has a lot of gas. I'm surprised that that building wasn't built earlier. I thought that we should be seeing a Stargate by now. Armory. Is that really the first armory? That can't be the first armory, right? I mean, I actually think it is. That is crazy. His upgrades are going to be so slow if that's actually the first armory. I hope that that's a second armory and he has a science facility somewhere. Either way, Ruin has Reaver coming out as a follow-up, which is kind of weird to see Reavers this late. You can still have them in the mid-game, but, you know, Terran's got so much stuff now, I don't see how you're really going to find good use of this Reaver, especially with 2 raced out. But maybe he can make something happen. He's got... I was going to say Terran's got a good wall at the 3rd base. That's pretty fortified. Natural, pretty fortified. Looks like that drop's not going to be able to do much either. And we've got 4th base coming down for Ruin. I am getting a little worried that Ruin's worker count is so huge, but his gateway count is light, his tech is light, and his 4th base is not as fast as I thought it was going to be for how many workers he has. I actually think Ssak might just max and run him over. Flies really close at 140 to 122. I actually think he should just suicide that dropship, especially if there's something in it. It's just wasting supply at this point. Right? No. Gas at the 3rd base finally for Ruin. 5th and 6th gate coming down finally for Ruin. Another Robo. Okay, it's going to be Shuttle Man. Had the Templar Archive already done also. This is going to be Mass Storm, Mass Gateway units. He's had his Forge spinning for quite a while, so also pretty good upgrades. Aaron's still just camping. Huge probe transfer over there. I mean, this is just huge amounts of money for Protoss, but I wish he would take another main. Protoss is really, as a Terran player myself, you don't really feel the panic when you're just facing a 4-base Protoss that's not taking other mains. Okay, there we go. Bottom right is where he's going to take the other main. Oh, I thought he was going to get all 4 of those goons. Those were massively clumped tanks. Kind of a lackluster game, if I'm being honest. I mean, we're just building up and building up and building up and just waiting for Terran or Protoss to make a big move. So far, Terran just slowly creeping towards the center of the map, maybe setting up to try and take bottom middle, but I don't see a big building being built anywhere. I think he's just continuing to focus on maxing out. And I guess he scanned bottom right as a ton of vultures go down there. There's no observer either. Oh, but there's goons here. This is a waste of vultures. Yeah, okay, he's gonna try and save some of them. May not be able to save any though. Well, if Protoss suicides some zealots, trading vulture for zealot wouldn't be the worst thing. He really wishes he could have intercepted that, but not gonna get anything. But supplies, despite that, are super even, 170 to 170. He snipes the shuttle, man. These Reavers, are they really gonna die? Wow. Those Reavers were pretty useless. Massive loss right there. And 170 versus 170, Terran's gotta be feeling like they're in the driver's seat, if they knew that. He sees that all the goons are out of position, so he's gonna start sniping shuttles. Already damaged that one heavily. I don't think I've ever seen somebody double Wraith like this and find shuttles and actually get damage done. Yes, he didn't kill a shuttle, but, well, he didn't kill one of those. He killed one of the Reaver shuttle, but he did damage that one quite a bit. Finally, Ruin has just a massive amount of gates in his main. I can see it's like 15 or something. Yeah, what's this? 7, 12? Okay, it's not as much as I thought, but still 12 is quite a lot. But Ssak sitting on the 8 factories also. But because Ruin has gone into double robo instead of like arbiters, I'm actually a little worried that he's not going to be able to produce out of all these gateways plus the robos, right? Because the robos are mineral intensive. And you can see that he's floating a lot of gas, like actually a ton of gas. But maybe he's just going to build a ton of Templars. We do have a drop at mid-left. Doesn't look like any Templars unloaded. But maybe I missed it. There we go. They're in the main. Okay, for a second I thought he didn't have Storm. I was like, no, please. Please not like this. He does have it though, but only gets off 1. So this was not really a successful drop at all. It does keep Terran back, I guess. And that is a ton of tanks. Holy smokes. I will say this about Ssak. When I have watched him play, I downloaded some of his replays from Seawall. When I have watched him play from a deficit, he just plays really passive just like this. Slowly takes the map and just gets an absurd tank count. And I'm starting to think that if Ruin doesn't do something about this, because we've seen no tanks die this game, Ssak may actually get up into, you know, like 30 and 40 tanks at some point. And once that happens, it doesn't matter what you have as Protoss on the ground. You're not going to win. So I think Ruin needs to do something about this center location. Try and draw units out of position, maybe with some drops somewhere. Or, you know, just dive bomb on this and just try and blanket the tanks. Because I actually don't think Ssak intends to attack right now. I think he's just going to continue to do this slow creep, sack vultures, and just replace them with tanks. We saw that Terran's only at 1-1. Okay, Protoss gonna go in. This is a disaster. That was an immediate snipe. Gets off 1 storm. D-Matrix comes down. Okay, Ruin is in huge trouble, to say the least. He lost, what, 40 supply, killed 20? And once again, Terran lost no tanks. 0. This base is dead. What is surprising about how effective this is normally versus shuttles, you need to have some Goliaths, but he's done a good job with these Wraiths that, 1, the shuttles are damaged, 2, the Wraiths are still alive, and he's able to just keep the shuttles back. Like, he can't just engage with the shuttle. Okay, he's gonna try. That was a good shuttle bomb. But an immediate blow up on the Templar. He only gets off 1 storm out of 4 shuttles. I can see Ruin's gonna counterattack bottom left. But even if there's nothing there to defend, the depots are going to take a long time to get through. Yeah, he even repairs it. This is masterclass Terran versus Protoss from Ssak. These goons are worthless. These goons, as they go back towards top middle, may end up dying also. Bottom middle or top middle is dead. Protoss still, you know, slightly up in supply at 200. I think actually him losing those probes is a good thing. He didn't need that many probes. He needs actual army. But he is still... There's really no way around saying it. I mean, he's mega screwed right now. 2-2 just kicked in. Vessels still have, like, full energy. The race are still alive. I mean, look at that army. It's pure tank, and I don't even think that's all the tanks. What is that, 20 tanks? 25 tanks? Okay, there we go. Shuttle's going to be going into the bottom middle base. Now, this is very important that he shuts this down. Getting rid of this base will mean Ssak is going to be put back on just one base mining, essentially. And Protoss is still going to have bottom right, plus his natural still mining, and his third base is mining for now. Small engagement in the center, gets a couple of tanks. Command center I don't think died at bottom middle, but mid right is going to die. Well, I think Ruin needs to take this opportunity to kill these tanks over here. Like, he's got the army split. There we go. Get on top of those tanks, man. There goes two of them. He just doesn't have the supply. Where's his stuff? He's maxed. Where is this? Okay, I know where the stuff is. It's at the bottom middle base. So he's hesitant to engage because he has nothing, no supply to, you know, like no zealots to just go in there. Oh my gosh. He's going to lose bottom right also. That Nexus just died. So he loses his third base. He loses bottom right. Now he's also on one base mining essentially, as his natural I can see is mined out now. Aaron now almost has an equivalent bank, and the tank count is still huge. Terran also has 3-3 coming. I don't know exactly what Protoss's upgrades are, but you're not going to stop Terran once 3-3 kicks in, especially with those two vessels already out, with EMP energy probably already banked up. I will say 2-2 versus 2-2 is pretty good. You know, okay, it's obviously better for Terran, but what I mean is, you notice when you're facing 2-2 compared to 1-0, for example, as a Terran player versus Protoss. But double EMP there, okay, gets rid of a lot of the shields, but I don't think this is really going to do much. Again, another counter to bottom left, but Ssak can just repair it. He has no answer to this army on the right side. I think this game is just going to end right here. I don't see how you stop this. I can see that the teal dots have gone away from bottom middle, so it looks like that base got saved. This base is going to fall. Ruin is trying to rebuild top middle, but I don't think that I mean, it does matter, like he needs it, but I don't think it's going to be a difference maker here. Ruin sending everything bottom right. I still don't even think that's enough, though. Zealots coming out of the gate, but they just die pretty much immediately. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. Where's the shuttles? Where are the shuttles? I can see the Goliath shooting some shuttles, but where are the rest of... Does he not have anything in the shuttles? Wow, look at the probe count, 33. Ruin has no econ now. Look, he's not even mining. He's still just stuck at 226, so Ssak is going to take this game. This was pretty much what I've seen Ssak do whenever I have downloaded some recent games of his. He's just so diligent. Just so passive, securing the key parts of the map, just like he does in Terran versus Terran, and slowly just chokes you out. There's an Arbiter out. I wish he had done that earlier. He has so much gas, man. 2,000 gas. But he just never spent it. And when he did use it on Templars, they just never got any damage done. We're going to have a big engagement in the middle of the map. This can't stop the Terran army. There's more tanks than there are goons. There's double EMP still. He's not even seeding. He's just moving. Please have something in the shuttles. I mean, it's hilarious to see him EMP the shuttles because he doesn't have a Goliath. But there's the tap out, and that means Ssak, he is going to win this game. It was kind of a lackluster game, to be honest. You know, kind of not exciting in the beginning, but Ssak played it well. Ruin, I think he had what he needed to have, but way too much gas. Not any, like, key tech units. And when he did use Templars, I mean, there still wasn't very many. So let's get into now what everybody wanted to see. It's going to be a TVT. It's going to be between Sharp and Ssak. Okay, in the top right, one half of everybody's favorite matchup, it's Ssak. And in the bottom left, our other Terran, we do have Sharp. And for those of you that have been watching me for a while, I've talked about how Ssak does not lose Terran versus Terran. This guy is legit god tier in this matchup. Sharp is very good. I think out of all the Terrans that I would at least give a shot against Ssak, Sharp would probably be the guy. But there is no Terran on Earth that I would pick over Ssak in Terran versus Terran. So I have really high expectations for Ssak in this particular matchup. We've got cross spawns here. I think one of the ways that you can beat Ssak is you get a greedy opener going and you somehow survive his timing attacks. So I do hope Sharp does go for a 14cc here. What I like about Ssak is he does play all the styles. He'll play Vulture, he'll play Tank Goliath, but most of the times when I see him dominate, it's Tank Wraith. So I really do hope to see that. Sharp gonna go for low ground barracks. All right, gonna be a little bit forward, but not too much. Probably gonna be just one Marine expand, and we're gonna have a 12 gas from both sides. No scouting going on for either player. TVT, you don't really scout that early because what are you gonna do? Are you gonna rally Marines when you scout a command center first? Probably not, unless you've already proxied your racks. So there's not really much benefit to scouting quick unless you can have like already built-in counter to the 14cc. Like let's say you were blindly going 12 gas and you didn't pull off. Then okay, I could understand scouting a little bit quick. But if you're not going to all in, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're scouting. So we do have the scout coming down finally. 225 scout for both sides. See, Ssak is slightly up in supply, or was, and that's just a little bit of the impact of the forward barracks. It is actually going to be 2 Marines. 2 Marines is very standard in Terran versus Terran, but with the forward racks, I thought he may use it a little bit quicker to scout, but not going to be the case, and instead it's going to be Ssak the one with just 1 Marine. So this is kind of what I was talking about with Ssak being so good in TVT. He now has 1 Marine versus 2. You're not going to lose the game because you built 1 less Marine. He's safe versus pretty much everything unless he's getting all in. So he's going to get his command center down slightly faster. That means he's going to have an additional SCV slightly faster. And all these minor things do add up, especially at pro level. There's the SCV, will confirm the command center timing, and he should know that this guy got away with 1 Marine, not just because of him seeing only 1. And it was a good attempt from Ssak to keep that SCV back, but SCV gets in. Nice scout for Sharp. Does see there's no like star ports just yet, but he definitely wants to keep this alive as long as possible. As I say that, it goes down, and there's going to be proxy starport. Here we go, man. It did look like starport because there was no additional factories. And there was no SCV like set up in a position to build a factory, but you still don't know. Oh, is he gonna find it? That is great. I was gonna say it. It still felt like starport. So in this sense, I don't necessarily like the proxy starport here. I actually would have liked proxy. I don't know if this is even a thing, like proxy factory, but that was good game sense from Sharp to know that, hey, something weird was going on. It smelled like proxy starport. I didn't see it in your main. Maybe you're hiding it at bottom middle or bottom right or mid left and finds it in the first go. Can see Sharp so far. He's going 2 fact. We do have a 3rd fact from Ssak, But unbeknownst to him, the barracks is almost already here. May end up actually getting scouted. Third factory for Sharp also. So basically mirrored builds. We got here almost the same way. That canceling of the starport kind of made up for the faster command center on Ssak's side. When Sharp gets in here, he does actually miss the third factory, so he may think that this guy went tank Goliath, but he should know that there is another factory when he sees that this guy just is still building vultures. We see sometimes players go into 4-fact. Some players like Rush go into starport quite often, but so far neither player has built either one of those. It is just going to be mirrored amounts of production. Now, something to pay attention to is the worker count. Certain players like Flash do cut a lot of workers to get more and more vultures out. And then there are players that do build a lot of SCVs. And if they aren't careful, they can get punished and killed. So we will have to keep that in mind. But it looks like so far both players are kind of building up the same amount of workers. We do have the 4th fact coming down for Sharp. And we do have the starport at the natural for Ssak. So far, it is pure Vulture Man. I don't think either player can really do damage to either player, but we're starting to see that worker differential that I was talking about. 3 SCVs advantage for Ssak. If he starts going into like 5-7 advantage, it can start getting scary because Sharp will have so many more vultures. For now, it's pretty much just like it was in the Terran versus Protoss. No action really from either side. Both players kind of hesitant to do anything. Sharp has cut a lot now. Okay, now he's built a couple more. He's up to 32. But when this drop, I think it's going to be a drop. When this drop comes out, if Sharp can shut down the Vulture drop, I think he could immediately counter and do big damage. He does catch a single Vulture over there, but not really too much going on. It's just so weird to see what Terran versus Terran has become because, you know, in the very olden days, people said whoever expanded first in Terran versus Terran just lost. And probably it was partially due to maps because the only map that was played back then was Lost Temple. So if they went starport and like tank dropped you, you're dead. Like you just don't have any counterplay. Now we see, of course, fast expansions all the time, but still, people didn't use vultures like this where you don't have a single tank out. And look at this. There are so many vultures here. Sharp has more vultures at the bottom side, and he also has enough vultures at the top middle to defend. But Ssak had impeccable defense there. Those mines should have connected and killed those tanks. Instead, he's able to save himself and take no damage. So Ssak, that was the moment that I was talking about where he needed to be careful, otherwise he might outright die, but he barely holds there with the tanks coming out. And now being up 10 workers, he is at a huge advantage. His econ is incredibly strong. He can start going for mass drops as I see him load up just one. Now Sharp's econ is still fine, but obviously a 7 worker differential, 46 to 39. 39 I don't even think is good saturation for 2 bases. I mean, it's okay, but it's not great, right? So if we were to like stop the game right here and go and look at resources, what I'm saying is Ssak should have mined a considerable amount more. Now that dropship, I thought I saw a tank get loaded up, but I can't imagine a single dropship with tanks being loaded to be any strong at all. He unloads 1 vulture, gonna shut down that. Unloads 2 vultures over here. I wish he had unloaded all 3 here because he would have been one-shotting SCVs. But instead, he's going to go into the main also, and he's going to try and force a transfer of every single one over towards... Oh my gosh. Okay, he loads that up. That was nice. Doesn't get, you know, huge amounts of kills, but he forces a lot of lost mining time. And of course, the mid-left base being delayed is really annoying. Wouldn't be surprised to see command center start coming in for Ssak, but instead he goes into more. Okay, there's command center. He goes into more factories, and he's even positioning like he's going to be able to 6 factories. So he is going to be, he's going to have a huge amount of production pretty soon and massive pushing power, especially since he's already been building tanks. What is Sharp going to do is kind of my question. The tank count is obviously lower. It's, I think, like 6-2. Also, Ssak already has been building Wraiths. Yeah, he's going to have to build Goliaths just to defend versus potential Wraiths. Ssak has bigger econ. Sharp really did cut a lot to get that many Vultures. He didn't do any damage. And now Ssak is going to get his mid-right base up and running. He's going to get top-middle up and running. I don't know exactly what Sak's upgrades are, but they're probably +1 by now. Oh, that's a lot of Vultures. Can he deny the transfer? No. Oh, he's gonna catch some. Okay, that's good. He's gonna lose a lot of Vultures here, but will kill a decent amount of SCVs. But even this amount of SCVs still isn't enough to even it up. But we could be in for a long game. Both players have kind of center control, their center control. They've cut it off enough where they can get 4 bases pretty easily. I don't know what's going on at bottom middle. I thought those were moving like they were drop ships. Maybe they're not. Still only 5 facts. I thought Ssak may have been able to ramp up a little bit faster, but I guess not. Okay, it looks like those were 2 Wraiths. And Ssak is just, again, going to play passive here, take his top middle base as the command center is going to start floating over there. Now Sharp, I think he's on 5 factory. I think I see he's got science facility and starport done. I still don't know if anybody started +2. Okay, well, definitely not Sharp. He's still +0. Wraiths are annoying. Is it 2? 2 Wraiths? I think it is. I'm a huge fan of Terran versus Terran, and I don't really understand why people really dislike it, but in this particular scenario with how Ssak is playing, just not attacking, I can understand now, because this type of passive style, yes, it's somewhat common in TVT, but I feel like this is more passive than even I'm used to. Ssak is literally just sitting there, taking his bases, trying to get into the ultimate comp, where he can, probably just split the map in his favor. We do have a race switch, and I guess Ssak may have actually scanned it as he puts down a second starport himself. I did notice that Ssak also has +1 weapon, and his +2 is like a quarter done. All right, that's a lot of tanks. Ssak may have actually messed up here. One of the few times I see him mess up, and he is not going to trade very well, but he does still have the race. So if he can get rid of those Goliaths, all of those tanks will die. And I think with the double starport, that is definitely a potential. But he will have to be careful, because with Sharp building mass race, if he loses too many race in the initial engagement to the Goliaths, may get overrun by Sharp's race. Luckily that SCV there for repair can heal up those Goliaths to full. Okay, it's 5 race so far for Sharp. I think there's a comparable amount for Ssak right now. Still no 4th base for Sharp, so I am getting a little worried that despite having control over the bottom side, he still doesn't have the 4th base, so he's going to be down in gas. He's probably going to be slower to take bottom right. What is it, 5 Wraith versus 5 Wraith? Something along those lines. 6, okay. Oh, Are there no Goliaths out for Ssak with his tanks? Those Wraiths may be able to actually just take those down. Yeah, he's gonna get all these tanks for free. I guess Ssak doesn't have enough Wraiths to contest it. He should consider unsieging these. I don't see how you save them. Okay, this is not gonna work. What is going on? I think this is a diversion. I think he's trying to make a diversion and kill the Wraiths at the same time at mid-left. And that's exactly what he did. He killed all the Wraiths over there. So, Ssak lost a lot of tanks in the center, but he killed all the Wraiths. And that means, now that he's killed all the Wraiths, he doesn't have to worry about, top left being reinforced. So he can potentially take down all those tanks and Goliaths up there, since there's only 2 Goliaths to defend. So, interesting choice from Ssak, but I think it's gonna, well, maybe it's not gonna pay off. That's not a lot of tanks anymore. Those are gonna die. Those are gonna die. And Sharp realizing that, hey, I lost the air superiority. I need to get rid of this, get rid of the stuff in the middle. Now all of a sudden he's got so many tanks. He may be able to actually push through the center and win. There we go. Lots of Goliaths and Vultures to lead the charge. Sieging up. I think Ssak has +2. I don't think Sharp has it. But it doesn't really matter when the defending player only has 3 tanks. That tank's gonna die. That tank on the high ground is gonna die. Wow. Like, literally in a blink of an eye, Sharp has just completely turned the tides of this game. This base is shut down. Top left got denied. But Sharp just has, like, a huge army, man. Okay, and he does have +2. He still needs to get a 4th base, I will say that. He needs to build a command center or something, float it over there. But Ssak is in massive trouble. Instead, Ssak, he's going to give up complete center control, try and hook around to bottom right. Maybe try and split the map that way. Okay, that tank died. Sharp does not have a lot of tanks with this army. Good focus fire from Ssak, takes down another tank. More Goliath's going to die here. That was a big chunk of tanks dying over there also. I can see in the center that there's still a lot of Wraiths left over. Yeah, they're right there. Well, I guess 5 is not a lot, but it's definitely not a little. Okay, that command center's gonna die. Sharp may actually consider taking the center base. You're in the center anyways. Yes, it doesn't have gas, but you can still just use that additional money to build 1,000,000 Vultures. Now finally top left going up as the 4th base. Ssak is going to take his bottom right as the 4th base. I guess at this point, I don't see how Ssak gets back in the game. Like, the only way he can get back in this game is drops. Terrans with +2, they trade too effectively. Like, he can't get into the center anymore. I think his best course of action is he needs to go drops, or he needs to somehow split bottom right. And if he can, deny bottom middle and take it himself. But that's going to be pretty hard to do. But maybe he can go like mass tank and slowly build up a BC count that eventually overruns. Other than that, drops are really the only answer here to get him back into this game. But there goes that idea of denying bottom middle. Sharp already on the gun there. He's going to start taking that base. Okay, there we go. Some drop ships. 4 drop ships. I think 4 drop ships is kind of like the minimum to have to be considered like a Doom drop. And with all the units out of position, this could do quite a lot. He just needs to not run over those mines at bottom right. If the mines spot it, then Sharp may be able to get into position, but I don't think he's going to. Oh, as I say that, he does run directly over the mine. He only showed 2 drop ships. Oh, that is genius. So Sharp isn't going to be scared of 2 drop ships. Oh my gosh. Oh, he scanned. He missed it. All he saw was the command center and the race. So Ssak sent back some drops. Not sure if the purpose of that is to get more, but he did not see the 4 drop ships, that's for sure. So many scans going off. That is 7 drop ships? Okay, that is crazy. If this gets in, that's going to end the game. You're not stopping 7 dropships. I'm sorry. That's just way too much DPS. Now, if he can get a counter drop off, that could make the game interesting. We can see that Sharp has 4 dropships himself. I see he's loading them up. That is a ton of drops. What is that, 9, 10? That is crazy. Is he going to go top left? Race. I think they're going to intercept the drops. I think he saw the drops. Did he see them? No. Oh, now he sees them. I think those are drops, right? Where are the actual drops? We don't know, but there are drops somewhere. Oh! Oh, he intercepted them. There goes 1, 2. Oh. And look at this. He's on the move now. He forced an unload onto everything. Oh my gosh. Oh! But he's running over. Okay, it's only 2 Goliaths. So it's not that bad. This base, he needs to at least shut down the main. He doesn't necessarily need to shut down the natural, but he's got to shut down the main. Okay, that is a lot. If he brought an SCV, that would be amazing. But he didn't bring an SCV. Oh, and he can just hook up to the top. So he's going to be able to shut down the main and... Oh my gosh, this is huge. Those Wraiths are going to die also. Huge swing in Sakk's favor this time around. He's going to kill both bases. His tanks, they're basically immortal. They're not dying. Kills a bunch of SCVs also. Bottom right is fine because Sharp lost a decent amount of dropships. I don't think he can counter over there. What Sharp can do is resituate that base up to top middle. Oh man, look at this. He leaves 2 tanks up there. Unsieges the rest. I guess it got scanned. Oh, he's going to move over to mid-left. No way. No way. He's going to shut down this base also? Sharp, he's losing control of this game, man. This base is dead also. There's still more to unload. Dropships. Okay, I guess it's not dead. That did not do as much as I thought. He still killed a lot of SCVs. Down to just 44 workers. Man, Sharp is basically not mining. Look at him sitting at just 101 minerals. Meanwhile, Ssak is now in supply lead, but he is going to lose basically every dropship. Never mind, he is not going to lose basically every dropship. He lost a lot, but he has 4 more already built. Puts him up to 6. Just needs to heal a couple of those bad boys up, and he'll be on the move once again. Good scan spots how many drops are still left over, so Sharp knows that, hey, the threat is not over. But he needs to take advantage of these dropships being out of position to clear top left. I don't think he has enough money to do that, though. I mean, that was a lot of eco damage. Right, this time around, the dropships are... Okay, I thought they were on the move towards the bottom of the map. I don't think you can really get through the bottom of the map. Maybe I'm wrong, though. It just seems like I see a lot of orange down there. Hey, Sharp did clear up top left. That's great. I can just hear so many scans going off. Oh, he's going to lead with the Valkyrie, and he's going to go for it. Oh, is he not? Okay. Instead, maybe going to go towards the bottom. There's actually not very much in the center of the map, like the direct center. If he can somehow split the gap, get to the center, then hook around to mid-left or the main, I mean, that could be pretty dangerous. Wait, 10 dropships. Absolutely crazy. Are you really going to dive this? No. Okay, he's hooked around. Did he dodge the scan? Nope. He's spotted. Yeah, you can't go in there. So, good defense from Sharp. He's secured both center bases. He's got top left. Remember, Ssak took his mid-right base faster than Sharp. So that base is going to mine out somewhat quickly. Oh! Did he make it through? Lots of dropships got through. He loses 1. But he still has 9 left over. Oh my gosh. Oh my, that is a billion tanks. You're not counter dropping this. No way. Cannot carpet bomb. That dropship got murdered. That one got murdered. I think Sharp's dead. He's right on top of the production, dude. And he doesn't have enough money to, you know, like restart building everything top left. Wow, that was probably like the only moment that Ssak had in this game. Because, you know, Sharp is just have all the rest of the bases. Both of the center bases, I mean, that's huge. I can see a Terran player coming back from being down 1 base, like in a, you know, an epic hour-long game. But to be down 2 bases, that's basically impossible. I will say Sharp has killed a lot of the tanks so far, but he needs, like, SCVs to help, you know, take some of the... Oh my gosh, he loses so many tanks. There's no SCVs to help. He just taps out. Okay, GG. Saki's going to take the game, but man, Sharp played really well. I thought that Ssak was going to dominate, but then Sharp came back with that great trade that I was talking about. But in the end, it's still what I said. Ssak doesn't lose Terran versus Terran. It doesn't matter. Let's get into game 2 now. This time around, it's going to be on retro. Okay, in the bottom left, almost had it. It is Sharp. And in the top left, somehow, bringing it back, we do have Ssak. Well, I have a feeling that we're probably going to have that type of stalemate type of style as we did last game. Ssak seems to play TVT very, like, diligently, deliberately, cautiously. I don't think we're going to see any, like, JYJ stuff where he does mega cuts and hits, like, a slick tank Goliath timing. So I'm expecting this game to also be another long one. Retro is another map that you can easily get the entire map. Easily get a 4th base. All you have to do is really worry about, you know, potentially getting your 3rd base, like 3rd base gas shut down. And with these vertical spawns, definitely somebody may be able to make that happen. Now this time around, we're actually going to have Ssak with the low ground barracks, and Sharp is just going to build his barracks in his main most likely. Never mind. Also gonna be on low ground. Okay, actually gonna be proxy racks. Is it? Or is this 14cc? Okay, interesting racks placement. I mean, that is all the way at the very corner. You know, I don't ever proxy, and I don't really ever scout the center. I'm curious if this will avoid an SCV that goes directly cross scout. For some reason, I'm gonna say no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. He sees it. This is going to be a cancel, I think. Or it could be a cancel. This is really bad, to say the least. He still needs to get like 150 health of it completed. Okay, that was great. That was, wow, this is some flash level SCV micro, man. That's amazing. It is so hard to complete a Rax when you've already taken this amount of damage. 1 hit. Moving shot. Well, Ssak is still in trouble either way. Look how much gas he has. He went for, you know, a gas opener, and he still hasn't started his factory. Sharp, I think, was gonna go gasless, and then he saw this Rax in the center and then built a gas himself. So his factory is going to be identically timed, but his eco's better. I mean, you can see it in the money right there. Oh, a 2-fact. I was wondering why Ssak kept mining gas. 3 Marines already out. This is a nightmare. I'm surprised that he didn't send Marines to top. Okay, I guess Sharp hasn't scouted. I'm like, dude, you canceled the barracks for so long. You have 3 Marines. There's no way that the guy can have any units to defend. But he doesn't know where Ssak is, and the way that the Rax was positioned, it does look like it could have been bottom right or top right. So actually that was, now that I'm realizing, or now that I'm seeing how the opponent scouted, I'm now realizing the power of that Rax placement, because now, even with it getting found, he didn't get punished. He's not going to take any damage. And he's going to have his Vulture out in time to prevent the SCV from scouting. So Sharp is still not going to know that this is not a command center. This is crazy. Definitely can't let that SCV get in, though. If the SCV sees that there's no command center, the gig's up. Opposing player will just go tank Goliath in response to everything, and just defend versus everything, I mean. Still builds that bunker. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just the safe play to build the bunker. He's going to be right. This is exactly what he needs to defend. Ssak is at such a huge deficit. I can't even tell you what the deficit is. It's massive. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, now he knows it's 2-fact. There's no way that Ssak could have 5 Vultures at this point. So I can tell you with 100% certainty, Sharp is happy he's got the bunker now. Just needs to wall himself in. Cancel if something went off. There's the eBay. Okay. That's nice. Really well done. Prevents that damage. But he is going to have to leave those buildings up for a while. And that is going to, of course, prevent him from building, you know, some units. So maybe Ssak can take advantage of this to start ramping up his tank count like he did in Game 1 and maybe start securing the center of the map somehow. Something to keep in mind is that Ssak never got into Scout, so he still doesn't know if this is Wraith play. I actually kind of wish that it was Wraith play, because then Sharp could start getting on the move. He would have, I think Ssak would have a rough time defending it when he's open 2-fact with low econ. And I think that actually is the starport at the bottom side of the base going down for both players. Yep, there it is, starport. Okay. Sharp sees that there's also a starport at top right. Oh, double starport. All right. Gonna get his gas up and running. And once again, Sharp is gonna try and catch Ssak off guard here. Trying to look on the map to see if there's a second starport for... Ooh, a second starport for Ssak. But look at this. Instead, he cancels the starport, builds a barracks, and now he's gonna start flooding out factories. Okay. Okay. Fall engagement here. Gonna get a couple of Vultures. Not enough tanks for Ssak to be scared, I guess. Does, in the end, probably just trade evenly. Somehow Sharp is only up 1 worker. Okay, he's actually down workers. I don't know how that happened. How do you get your racks, you know, not canceled but delayed so long, and you're the one that has map control with the Vultures laying mines everywhere? Like, how does that happen? It's just unreal to me how Ssak somehow is always in a good position. Rax is going to come in again and try and find the follow-up, but so far he still doesn't know that this starport was canceled. Now he's going to see some factories coming in. I guess now he'll know that he was duped. So now he's going to have double starport into 4-fact with the Terran that's got his Goliaths and upgrades coming. This is pretty rough for Sharp. Sharp needs to get like 8 race out ASAP, get Cloak, and then try and pop some SCV so that he can get back in this game. Oh, there we go. Ssak in the center of the map already securing his key portion of the map so he can get a third base. Top middle looks like the base he's going to take. He is up 5 workers now. Unbelievable. Okay, there we go. Race on the move. I mean, you can't wait forever, right? You got to do something here. I guess the rack saw that there still is no comsat. So even if it's only 5 race, he can get a lot of kills if he has cloak. But I'm just now realizing he doesn't have any add-ons, man. Instead, maybe he can get some of these tanks. Okay. Wow. Just Ssak things. He split up the tanks because he knew that the race were coming. He's like, you know what? I can't save all the tanks, so I'm going to split them up, try and save as many as possible. Only ends up losing 2 tanks. That was fantastic. I mean, it's such a minor thing, but that was really nice. Third command center has started. Still no third command. Okay. Third command center for Sharp. Should be starting in a moment. Not just yet, though. He does have his 5th back coming down. Still only 4 factories for Ssak here. Here we go. Race coming in. No, sir. Get out of here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Might be cornered. Nope. It's just 2... Well, losing 2 is kind of a big loss, but at least he's going to deny this command center. Just be a little bit annoying. Okay, now he's on the move. Here we go. This he needs to make something happen here. Yeah, sneak over to top left. Get to top left, man. If he can sneak to top left while all these tanks are out of position and like set up a contain outside of the rally point with air support, that would be huge. That would be massive. But it doesn't seem like he sees that. Of course, we have full vision, right? But if he had somehow scanned and was able to make that move, that is the play that he needs. Somehow Ssak knows that the units are over here as he moves all of his stuff into position. Look at this. He even moves the tanks. Why are you here? Why did you move all your stuff over here? It was the perfect response. Doesn't get rid of any of the Goliaths, though. So that means that the race can never come down here to wipe out the tanks. They do get a couple of SCV kills, but nothing massive. And the third base critically is now up and running. Looks like third base just now started for Sharp. So he's going to have that coming up in a moment or so. But yeah, I can already tell this is going to be a long one. Sharp on the move once again. How deep does he want to go with these tanks? Oh, he's got a moment of opportunity here. 6 versus 3. Forces Ssak out of the middle. So, slight advantage for Sharp right now. Since that's buildable terrain, you obviously always want to be able to get into a position where you can make use of this. But he is trying to split. And okay, here's the idea. Try and cut off this base. If we're going to go mega split map, once again, just try and deny one base, and it could be massive for you. Still only 4... Okay, there we go. There's where all the money's going. I'm like, still only 4 factories. How's that possible? +1 done for Ssak. +2 on the way. Double starport with race coming. So he's eliminated almost all the race that Sharp has. Now he's going into race himself. And Sharp is now starting to build up his own Goliath count. 4th command center going down for Ssak, so it always seems like he's just one step ahead here. But hopefully Sharp will get down that bottom middle base in just a second. I don't think that is a command center going to top left, but maybe I'm wrong. I think that's just a science facility floating. I don't really see where anybody can really attack. I don't think you can really do much here. I actually would love to see, after he gets something like 8 race or something, go into double add-on and start going drops once again. Goliaths, I think, will win that battle, by the way. Okay, well, those Goliaths combined will win the battle. And he does get a denial on the command center, so that's nice. But it is so close to finishing that it's obviously not going to be a huge deal as he sends over another SCV. Fourth base starting now for Sharp. Surprised that Ssak hasn't made any attacks at all. Like, not even trying to deny bottom right, not trying to get control on the left side, like on that gas that I was talking about. He's literally just playing passive the entire time. Big mine. Okay, this base is gonna get denied. That's nice. Wow, his 5th command center is already done. Okay, so that base is going to be up and running. Sharp starts his command center at bottom right. Still no factories, I don't think, for Ssak. He has so many bases, but his factory count seems quite low, whereas Sharp's is, what, 7 or 8? I mean, Sharp's isn't massive, but it's at least bigger than 5, which is what I think Ssak has. Both players have a huge SCV count also. It's not like they can't afford it. Okay, so I can see that race are done at top middle. I think that the barracks may have spotted it though. Not sure exactly. +2 done as expected. Okay, there's the race. Okay, but there's so many Goliaths. This shouldn't do anything, I don't think. Oh, this is not a good trade for Sharp, that's for sure. Goodbye, tanks. He will at least deny this position. So that's good, I guess. I'm just trying to think of... Okay, there we go. Vulture's gonna get into the natural, gonna get some more SCV kills. This doesn't matter, though. Terran has so many command centers, they can just rebuild them immediately. I'm trying to think, like, how does somebody attack here? Both players are, like, near max. I see that there is double add-on onto the starport in Ssak's main, so hopefully he's, like, building dropships. And I think we also have double add-on for Sharp. So I guess, like, that's the play here. Both players goes mass drops. Because other than that, I just don't see how you attack. Like, there's tanks everywhere. There's Goliaths everywhere. The science facility is floating outside of Ssak's third base, so it's not BCs. Oh, those are isolated tanks. If he could somehow get everything over, get all the race over there and pop those, that would be great. Oh, Valkyrie, goodbye. Goodbye. Almost gets them. Oh, last shot. Oh, see ya. That was nice. And center bottom right again. So okay, so we're literally just going split map here, but you have to remember that Sharp has both of his, like, close by third bases, whereas Ssak doesn't. I'm very curious why Ssak never took top left. Like, why? Maybe he feels like it's a liability to try and take that, and also take try and defend top right. I guess if you mine out top right ASAP and then you just have this base to fall back on, that would be, easier in the mega late game to defend. because obviously top right wouldn't matter anymore if it's mined out. I don't know, I don't think I've ever seen somebody split like this. Just never take the third base. Either way, Sharp is starting to get a huge gas bank. Huge, just in general, resource bank. He has three starports with add-ons. He's got something like 9 factories. I think Ssak also has a decent factory count now. A couple of tanks are going to bleed off here, and maybe... Nope, I was going to say maybe Ssak moves in and denies that third gas, like I was saying, but there's enough stuff there to prevent that from happening. Sharp being maxed is kind of a liability for him, because I only see 2 dropships. If he had like 5 or 8 dropships, he could go try and make something happen at top left, in particular, for example. But while being maxed, he can't really do anything. And there we go. Ssak, he built up dropships this entire time. This is what I was waiting for. That dropship is not going to die. Oh my gosh, another Doom drop? Trying to avoid all the mines. He's going to avoid all the mines, and he's going to get into a position where he can also overlook the natural. Oh my gosh, he's done it once again. So many tanks. Well, you got a siege. That was kind of a late siege. But there's no SCVs here. So this is going to be a kill base. He didn't get in range of the command center on the low ground, though. At least that's going for him. That's kind of what I was hoping to see from Ssak, because there was no real other way to attack in this game. Wow, that's a cute move from Sharp to unload tanks like that. He's going to take down both of them and both Goliaths. And that allows him to now get up a turret ring, potentially? No, he doesn't. And Ssak is going to be able to escape with these. So, okay, kills a base. Kills, you know, some stuff on Sharp's side, but also Ssak lost a lot there. Also, all of his dropships are heavily damaged. But key thing for him is he managed to save all 8 of them. And if we look at the resources, all of a sudden Ssak is the one that has the massive bank. Well, they both have a massive bank, but Ssak is the one with the even bigger bank. And he's just now finally going to get this mid-left or top-left base up and running. Looks like we could have an interception on the dropship. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh! Looks like those Valkyries found them. They all die. Or some of them die. Almost all of them die. Wow, he had 8 dropships and he built 4 more. So he was about to have 12 dropships. What does that mean? It would have been... what? Like 36 supply? At least? Mass tanks and mass Goliaths? If you thought it was an unstoppable drop last game, imagine having 4 more dropships. Oh, okay, but this did free up some supply for Sharp to get some drops out himself. And now he's got his eyes set on this mid-right base. And there's that gas that I was talking about being denied if you can get into the sweet spot, and he is just barely in that spot. So that base is, you know, it's still impactful to have the minerals, but you really want the gas. Oh, dropships. I can see them on the minimap on the left side, trying to find where the hole is, but so far, no opening like there was a second ago at bottom right. Sharp now with 8 dropships himself. That is a crazy amount. Is there an opening at that mid-right base? Looks like there is. Everything unloads. And I'm gonna guess that that's just gonna be dead. Yeah, Sharp's not able to get back there in time. So that's a dead base. I'm getting worried for Sharp at this point. He had a good stranglehold over the center of the map. Expanded well, but now, losing 2 bases, so many tanks and Goliaths out on the map, and so many dropships out on the map. I feel like he may be under threat of losing all of bottom right. I'm surprised that Sharp hasn't been able to find an opening himself. Like, you know where all the units are. There's like 40 supply of stuff here, and you're not able to find anywhere to attack? Ssak is just gonna walk away. Oh, he's gonna carpet bomb this. Okay, that's fantastic. Gets rid of all these tanks. That means he can now get this base up and running. So he's now up in bases. He's still got all of his drops. He's killed off a lot of tanks. Sharp still has no place to attack. He's got so many dropships. I wish he could just find some opening. Is top left the open position? It doesn't look like there's that many turrets. Oh, massive drop there. So that base is going to die also. Looks like we're missing it on the map. But, that base definitely died. No way you're surviving a 10 dropship attack. Their load up. Alright, and I can see that the dropships are moving out for Ssak, but if he can somehow find the move to go to the right side, then hook around towards bottom middle, I think that could be the play. Oh, there we go. Tank's getting in position. Okay, what is this doing? This is drawing the dropships out of position. Ssak needs to counter bottom right now. He knows that all the stuff is over here. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Sharp didn't unload everything. That was smart. Ssak going straight through the center. Down to bottom right. Down to the fourth base. Okay, that's the angle that I was talking about. Down to bottom middle. That base probably gonna die. Like we're missing that also. Well, we didn't get to see the result of that either. But it looked like Sharp ended up saving that base. And now Sharp is down to just 50 SCVs, whereas Ssak still has 70. Okay, he's now starting to lose his main. He's lost his turret ring. He's got his factories under threat. Still just mass drops. All right. 7K, 4K bank. How have we not seen BCs? Oh, as I mentioned that, top right, I can see that there's a lot of starports up there. Those must be, they've got to be starports, right? Oh my god, that is a ton of starports. So many. Sharp is actually the one on the move with the dropships now. He needs to get everything to top right and shut this down. Like, he has a big base. Okay, there he goes. Can he get in there? Oh, there's a lot of turrets, but there's not any right there. This is it. This is what he needed. Oh, this is perfection. He's gonna shut down the natural. Oh, see ya, SCV. Shut down the natural and the main base. Oh, but that was a huge drop. Ssak, huge counter drop. Is there enough at the counter drop? Wow, they splashed a lot of their units. And I think actually Ssak is gonna hold this. While that one tank is in perfect position where he doesn't get shot. Are you serious? At the same time, this base is going to die, so tons of action now happening, finally. That base died. This base is going to be saved, but huge losses. But I can see that Ssak still has supply lead. Ssak is going to have like 7 BCs pop out in a moment. And that's obviously going to start swinging the tides heavily in his favor. Saw another load up at the kind of outside of the natural at top right. So we're going to have drops somewhere. Alright, he's going to try and You try and, I guess, maybe elevator, but where are the drops for him to elevator? He's going to take down the turrets. I don't think there's enough Goliaths here to deal with the battle cruiser, so I'm not sure. Oh, okay, there we go. There's a lot of the drop ships. BCs. I don't know, man. You have to have a lot of Goliaths in here. He does. Oh, he has a decent amount. I don't think it's enough. Yeah, I think Ssak realizes, like, you don't have enough Goliaths, man. I'm just gonna kill. This is game changing. So many BCs. He killed so many tanks and so many Goliaths there, and he lost no BCs. Oh my gosh. Massive win. Now Ssak can start going across the map and start killing all these key bases at bottom right if he wants. He's maxed out, man. He just needs to get tanks together with his army. There is no defense at bottom right at all. Everything's at bottom left. You know, the rally point, of course. He does need to, I guess, heal up some of these BCs. You can't just move them, but he does have opportunity to do something. Instead, it looks like he backs off to repair. And Sharp, once again, is on the move with a lot of dropships and a lot of Goliaths and tanks. Surprised that Sharp is attacking. He's not maxed. He knows that there's a million BCs. He doesn't have tanks. Yeah, he lost a lot. I think he's desperate at this point because he sees the writing on the wall, like it's 7 starport. The guy already has 7 BCs. You know, that's soon going to turn into 12, 14 of them real fast. And he's trying to, like, outmaneuver the BCs maybe. But I don't think he can really do that. I think he's just dead. He's got good upgrades, but you're not stopping tank BC. Yeah, I hear them. They're coming. This is just so many tanks. 10 BCs with 1-1 upgrades. Moving. Okay. This base is 100% dead. Bottom right is... It's all going to die. I think all Sharp can do is counter drop top right again. He needs to load up everything and go top right. Pray that he kills everything. And then pray that somehow he can, like... I don't know, win a base trade. Because he's not saving bottom right. Like, that base is going to die 100%. Like, maybe he'll be able to defend the main and... No, he can't. He can't defend this. We haven't even seen a Yamato either. Like, if there's Yamato here, he can Yamato every single dropship. I do notice that that science facility had the physics lab on it. So maybe he's going BCs, but I don't think he ever had the money to... Well, maybe he did. I see he does have a lot of money. But I don't think he's ever had the time to get enough BCs for that. Yeah, this base is dead. It's almost mined out anyways. That base is gone. Oh, there's a drop. Oh, is that a drop to bottom left? I don't think we see it, but there's definitely something got sent to bottom left in Sharp's main. Maybe it was just suiciding dropships for supply. Either way, that base is dead. Tanks and Goliaths are trying to save this base. I mean, the thing is he has to try and save this base, because if he loses this base and the mining third base at mid-right, like, he doesn't have any income. But unable to save it, taps out. There's the GG, and that means Ssak, he is going to make it out of this group in first place. Of course, very long games. Ain't gonna lie, kind of pretty boring games, but that's kind of what happens in TVT sometimes. Ssak is just very diligent in his play, and he gets another victory for himself. So we are about to go into our losers match now. This is going to be 8-15 versus Ruin. The TVTs are done for. We don't have to worry about those anymore. So let's get into a ZVP. Hey. And in the top middle are teal Protoss. We've got Ruin. And in the bottom right, we do have 8-15. So we haven't seen Ruin in a while, I don't think. I think we may have seen 8-15 last season, as I mentioned earlier. I remember his retro game. He macroed very well in that particular game, but it still wasn't enough. And we'll see how he faces off versus Ruin. Because of all the macro that 8-15 pulled out last season, hopefully we can see some more macro here. You know, even though I'm a big fan of, as everybody knows, the 4 pools, the 5 pools, you know, I love to see that. I love to see big macro on maps like Apocalypse, where you can definitely get some big macro games. You can also have some solid timings, you know, with there being that big high ground outside of the natural and third base. So we could also see like a big, you know, 10-minute to 15-minute timing play from either side, whether it's mass hiders or mass goons. Anyways, we've got Ruin gonna scout bottom right first. So he is going to find 8-15 immediately. And 8-15 was going for the hatch first build. So already this is gonna be probably transitioned into a 12 pool. Never mind. That seems like a mistake to let that drone get out like that, but maybe he'll be able to still block it. It's going to go down at the third base. All right. And meanwhile, Protoss going to get back into the main. See that this guy still didn't build a spawning pool. And in response, he's just going to go Nexus first. So even though not able to block the hatchery, at least he didn't waste money on a forge that he doesn't need. Going to have an amazing opener relative to Zerg. Zerg, because they went the wrong direction, still has no idea what this is. Maybe could have gone for like 3 hatch before pool if he had a scouted top left first. You know, I don't know how viable that is in Zerg versus Protoss, but, you know, just thinking out loud, it seems like it could be pretty strong. Of course, it would allow Protoss to go gate into gas immediately, and then all of a sudden you have some amazing tech timing. So, you know, I could be wrong. Either way, it's a forge follow-up, despite seeing the pool first. Still going to go for the forge. You know, last season, we saw some crazy stuff, specifically from Sins, going Nexus, Gate, Zealot, and then I think Forge even after that. Just absolutely absurd builds. Got away with it a couple times, got punished once or twice, but not seeing it here. Gateway coming down. What was this gas timing? 235? Okay, so this looks like it's just the normal gas timing to me. Nothing really weird going on. Okay, for a second I thought that all of those eggs got morphed at once. But not the... Oh, okay. I was going to say, but not the case. It's probably just going to be 4 lings, but instead it ends up being another drone. So it may be just 2 lings, in fact, despite not knowing what the opener is, not scouting at all. I guess he just assumes, hey, the Zealot should have been here by now. He probably opened Forge. No need to build Zerglings. He is right this time, so he's gonna, you know, sneak out an additional drone that he probably wouldn't normally have. That's gonna be the cybernetics. So I think like every Protoss building is 38 seconds. If it's not, it's very few that are not 38 seconds. So this is gonna give us, you know, like a 4:15 Stargate probably, and that's probably just gonna be a incredibly fast Corsair. I was trying to get a look to see at the forge if it was spinning, but I don't think it was. At least not just yet. Meanwhile, third base for 8:15 is just drones for now. Natural, just drones. No hidden, you know, hydrogen anywhere. Probe sees everything. Like, there's not even an attempt from the lings to try and push the probe away. Okay, now finally we get some lings out. And now it should finally get taken out. Look at that, he snuck a couple of lings at the top side. So he actually has 8 lings waiting for this incoming Zealot. There was the Stargate, as expected. And I don't know what's in the water today, but these games, other than the initial, I guess, what, 8-15 game, been pretty passive. You know, nothing really happening. We're really just waiting to see how the mid game is going to unfold. That's a pretty damn fast Citadel. So we could have some type of Zealot timing. But I don't see an additional gateway, and I don't see, you know, non-stop Zealot. So I actually think this is going to be a Rush Templar Archives. Could be wrong, though. +1 air coming in. Corsair coming in. Fire's what, like halfway done? 3/4 done? Something like that. I don't think this Corsair is going to get much damage. Maybe 1 Overlord? But if it gets more than that, I would be pretty surprised. Okay, there's the second gate. So maybe it's not going to be Rush Archive. I saw a probe move over to the right. Okay, it just spent 100 gas. 100 gas. You know, that's either like +1 weapon or another Corsair. So it's not the Archive. So this is going to be, you know, I was going to say like a 4-gate, but he hasn't put down 4 gates just yet. He's got the probe count for it. Like, once you reach 40, 42 probes, you're pretty good. You don't need to really build anymore after that. So he could definitely try and, you know, flood out a lot of Zealots really quickly. Corsair finally finds an Overlord. Man, it took him a long time to find one. And with the second Corsair coming, he'll probably be able to get this kill. Even though this additional Overlord is right here, not sure if he'll be able to pop it. But that is a big supply block right there. 39 out of 35. Yeah, he's not willing to risk. And he was very right. The Scourge are on the way. Now, this is why I was kind of confused from the build order. Because a 4 Zealot attack, what is this supposed to do? I think it's also even before speed kicks in. I think it's before +1 weapon kicks in. I'm not sure of the intention of this. Maybe it's to force a Sunken and back off. But he's coming in, man. I guess he only sees 3 lings, so if I was him also, I would walk in. But I can't imagine this doing damage, right? Okay, he pops the Sunken, but he should lose all of these Zealots. The drone drill was so. Okay, now that was actually pretty good now. Does lose that drone in the end. But mutas are out. Are those the first few mutas? Oh, because of the supply block, actually, the mutas come out a little bit late. And now, all of a sudden, Zealot's going to get some drum kill. What? Where's the mutas, man? Get in here. Oh, he's shooting the... Okay, he was shooting the high health Zealot instead of the low one, but ends up taking down the low one. Now, we've got 52 workers for Ruin, by the way. So his econ is crazy. He needs to go up into like 8-gate right now. I think he's done enough disruption here that is really the play. Don't need to go into another Nexus. Just try and run him over. Another drone falls. +1 weapon is kicked. Oh, another drone fall. He picked that one out. And this has also bought time for him to, 1, get that Templar, as you see. Build up his Corsair count. What's it at? Like 5. And +1 weapon on the air is also done. So Zerg is in massive trouble. And there's a DT. But luckily, at least there's Overlords and Lings here. But I think the DT will beat 4 Lings, right? Yeah, see you later. And that's going to draw the mutas all the way back. This is going really bad, and it's gone from really bad to worse, as there's no Overlord in the main. How many can he get? 1, 2, 3. This is devastating damage. I will say I think Ruin's over-probing here. He still hasn't flooded his gateways, even though he's done critical damage. If he was someone like Snow, these gateways would already be done instead of just now starting. But he's now going to flood them out, going up into, I think, is it really only 7? It's got to be at least 8. He can afford even like 9 here. 1 more. It doesn't look like he's going to go for another one. Instead, I think, okay, I thought that was a probe over there for a Nexus, but it's just a Zealot. It looks like he's now just sending one over. That is a lot of Corsairs. Oh my gosh. But that is a lot of Scourge. Will 9 Corsairs beat this? I actually don't think they will. So he needs to be careful here. Remember, okay, well, if he bleeds off all the Scourge, he will. Yes, he lost 2 Corsairs, but that was definitely worth. If he morphs an Archon, I think he's good to go versus any air attack. I don't think he needs to build any more Corsairs. Just one Archon with what he has is more than enough. +1 armor on the air has already kicked in. So Mutas and Scourge are, somewhat tanky, but they had that upgrade already kicked in a moment ago, and all the Scourge went bye-bye. Finally, we see the first few Hydras on the move. Zealot just waltzes in. Of course he gets in. 10 health. Doesn't really see anything, but does see that Hydras are now being started. Is he going to build a Nexus? He's got a ton of minerals. Yeah, there we go. Probe's going to come over here. So Nexus is going to be going down. I hope that's a second forge, but it looks like, based on the size, that's just another pylon. 2-2 would be so crazy here. Oh, the Scourge. I don't think the Corsairs are going to win anymore. Yeah, he needs to run. But with the Dragoon support, he'll be able to push this back. Oh, it is 8 gate. Oh, sorry, I knew it was 8 gate. I was hoping it was going to be something like 9. But we can see his gas count's pretty low, so maybe he's not able to pump out, continuous goons out of all that. Either way, Ruin's still in an amazing spot. Getting the third base up. 56 probes. Crazy econ. Somehow, despite all the damage, I just don't know how Zergs do it. He's within 15 supply, which is insane. So it's not like Zerg is out of it, but I still like Protoss' position quite a bit. Okay, that Storm actually did a lot of damage. All these mutas are going to not die, but they are so heavily damaged that they are not impactful anymore. There's no way that they can snipe Templars. They're pretty much dead weight for what, like 2 minutes while they regen their health. There's the 9th gate. May even go into 10 gate. Main is, look how low the mineral patches are, even at 1130, because of how many probes he has. So even though he has a third base, it's not really going to be a third base for very long, because his main's going to be basically mined out. Oh. That was a mistake. My alarm going off. Alright, well, Protoss still not willing to commit. I mean, he's kind of right here. He doesn't necessarily need to attack, but what I'm going to get worried about is this is allowing Zerg to probably get their Lurker upgrade completed in a second. And, he's banking a decent amount of gas. As I say that, he just spent about 400 of it. I expect that to be for Lurkers somewhere. Another hatchery going down for 815 at bottom right. So he's going to have big econ. Protoss definitely, yeah, finally Protoss is going to do something. Protoss needs to do something about it. I mean, he's had such a big lead the entire game. Don't let this Zerg get back into it. And he moves across with an insane army. I think he's going to have +2 armor kicked in it in just a second also. So there's I was going to say there's no way that Zerg can win this battle, but Protoss must be thinking that Zerg can, as the Hydras just hold the line there and push the Zealots back. It's going to be a double expand from Ruin, as I see a probe is at mid-left getting ready to put down a Nexus. But he's about to be maxed. Zerg still only has +1 weapon. There's the second forge that I was wishing we had a little bit earlier. But I guess that means that his +2 armor is going to be completing in a second. So it'll probably go into immediate +3. Potentially, plasma shields, maybe a second weapon upgrade. But I don't think you really need that versus a Zerg that has no armor. 815. I don't even think he saw that this base was going up. I think he just barely was out of vision. We'll get a couple of Zealots for free. Oh, is it a drop? Oh, I was wondering where that gas went because I still didn't see any Lurkers. It's a mega drop into the main, and now Ruin has to tuck tail and turn everything back to the main. Zerg still doesn't know about mid-left. There is... Oh my gosh, the Storm hit so many of the Hydras. But look at the probe count. He didn't transfer probes. What? He transferred, his probes from his natural to the third base? So he ends up losing 25 workers. Oh, that's not true, actually. I forgot there was a transfer over at mid-left at the same time. I was like, there's no way that he did that. So he got both probe lines killed. Now, even though he has 4 bases, he's only mining 2. He's now down workers. That bought time to get mass mutas up. These Templars dying, and Zerg is all of a sudden way back in this game. with the +2 weapon kicked in, he's going to be hitting really hard. I don't know if he has Hive. I think his worker count is a little bit too low to start going into Hive, but he may be able to just end the game here with an attack. And that storm did a lot of damage. Is there enough cannons? I'm going to say no. Mutas are heavily damaged, so they don't want to just bleed off to a cannon, but instead he's going to bleed off to the goons. No, 815. I think this is a diversion, by the way, because I see a bunch of stuff kind of loading up at that rally point. Maybe loading up is not the right word, but, you know, got pumped out. Okay, now I see the clump got a little bit smaller, and here comes the drop once again into the main as the third base Nexus ends up dying. You know, after losing the third base and after losing so many probes, Ruin may just counter. He may think like, okay, well, I can't hold my main anymore, or maybe I can hold it with like a lot of storm. I'm going to just send everything else across the map. So that cannon dies. I just realized, is there even an observer out on the map? There's another good storm. But I don't think I've seen a single observer. Okay, there we go. 2 observers right here. I don't know if 815 can stop this army. He's droned up during this. And, you know, all of his armies in the main of Protoss. These Protoss units are so tanky with +2 armor. Even though Zerg has +2 weapon, I think Protoss is going to bulldoze their way through. 815 needs Sunkens, man. He needs to buy time. But he doesn't have any money. He's done so much damage. Oh, actually, Ruin's going to let him get back. I thought for sure Ruin should try and go for the game, but instead he's going to branch off and kill this 4th base. This may actually come back to bite Ruin, because he's not going to get that many drones. These are all going to escape. He's going to kill a hatchery, which is not that important. But what would have been important was killing top right, killing all 3 of those hatcheries and that base. What are these drones doing? Yeah, hook back over to mid right, man. Is it another drop? No, there's no additional drop. Those are just Hydras. Wow, Ruin, he can't make a decision. He lost all of those probes to a lurker. I was wondering where why his worker count went down so low. That's, oh my gosh, 815. He's just pulling a miracle out of a hat. This game was stolen away. Ruin is long distance mining mid left, and there's gonna be another drop. Ruin still has a strong army. He just needs to use it. But instead he's gonna get dropped again. He lost his Robo, by the way. That means whatever observers he has, whatever Templars he has, that's all he's going to have. Oh, he didn't lose his Robo. He lost his observatory. My bad. Either way, once again, all the units are pulled completely back. Gateways are starting to fall now. Production is going down. That is so many Hydras. There's not that many lurkers, but it just doesn't matter when there's a million Hydras here. Storms are really good. Like, the storms have been on point. Wow, he's supply blocked now. I think this game's over. I don't think 110 supply Protoss can beat 3 base Zerg with a 4th base coming up with 7 hatches. All Zerg needs to do is just make sure Protoss is unable to rebuild all those probes. Still no observer. He lost all the ones he had. I still didn't see an observatory. There's the Citadel, but he doesn't even want the Citadel. He needs it just to get the Templar Archive. He's got a lot of gas, doesn't have that much money. He could really use, 6, 7 Templars right now. That lurker is still killing stuff, by the way. And there's the one observer that Ruin has. Why doesn't he go up there and kill it? I guess he thinks he's going to get attacked. Another load up. It's just relentless, and he's off again. Off to the races. I think this is going to do it. I think this is going to end the game. This is a huge drop. Okay, there is one Templar. I think he still wins the battle. I guess he doesn't want to drop directly on the units because the storm is going to be easy to use. Oh, okay. Ruin is going to try and make something happen here. Lurker's getting into position, but he's not able to push past. Zerg back to their 46 workers. Fantastic. Protoss still sitting at just 30. You know, we're having like a best moment right here where he can't afford to really build any workers. He needs to get as much stuff on top of the minerals as possible. Maybe even consider pulling a couple of probes off of gas just so he can have a little bit better mineral income. 2-1's kicked in. Wow, it's still there. Really? We may finally have a standoff in the center. I think Ruin's had enough. But he's now down 20 supply instead of, you know, being up 20 supply a few minutes ago. Single lurker is going to get popped. Oh, that's a big commitment for nothing. Loses, what, 7 or 8 Hydras? But it's also a diversion as these overlords at the bottom left are going to get into position for, again, another drop. I think there was like 3 or 4 cannons, so I don't know if this is actually going to pay off for him. Wow, bottom right, did it actually never die? I guess I never really paid attention to it. But that's also up and running, so it's 5 base Zerg. I think what 815 is waiting for is I think he's waiting for Protoss to make a move, then he's going to counter drop mid left. Because no way Protoss can handle both attacks. Okay, here comes the attack. I got my eye on bottom left, but there's no movement just yet. For now, 815 is content with just microing his Hydras. Oh, he's running into a lot of Storm. Still no movement on those Overlords. Those were some good trades for Ruin. Just, you know, trading like Zealots and Storm for a lot of Hydras. It brings the supply back to pretty much dead even. Double Forge is spinning, so he's going to have 3-2 pretty soon. Zerg is still on just Lair, so they're stuck at 2-1. It's a lot of Archons, but I don't think Archon is what you need here. Like, yes, they're going to soak up hits, but Archons aren't really that tanky. I mean, they do have a lot of health, but the Protoss, or the Zerg is already, you know, mega upgraded. And also, there's no shield upgrades. There goes the Observer, which means that this push is kaput. It is done for. I can't believe this game has gone on this long. I feel like somebody should have ended it by now. Whether it's Zerg just going for a massive attack or Protoss in the earlier stages. Still just 34 drunk. Okay, did he really not have anything loaded up? I guess he didn't, as these 2 lurkers are morphing at bottom left. Well, this does draw a lot of stuff back to bottom left, and maybe Ruin now can use this window of opportunity to hit top middle. That's exactly what he's doing. These Hydras and lurkers are going to die. Wow, there's, again, the Great Storm. Look at how many lurkers died for just, what, like 3 goons? Something like that? Uh-oh. 815 has found the high ground. That is a lot of Hydras, though. All clumped up. Storms. One more. I think it's too much Zerg. I think Zerg has gotten the 360 surround. That Templar doesn't have energy. And with just goons and Archons remaining, Mass Hydra is going to eat this up as supplies are fading quickly. Protoss is about to type the GG. I can feel it, man. Now he's sending the rest of his army. He really wishes he had that army there, but he can't send it away because of the drop. I guess I didn't realize that was not the whole army, so I guess the GG's not going to come out just yet, but that was a massive, massive win for Zerg. Another Storm. Oh man, he's gonna get his 3rd breach now. Again, another good Storm. Or he's gonna get the 4th breach. That's the problem with no map control and Zerg having high ground. How do you ever prevent at least mid left from dying? Hopefully that dot at bottom right is DTs, but it's not. It's just Zealots. RIP. DTs could have done, you know, a good amount of damage to try and crawl back into the game, but with it just being Zealots, obviously that had no help with dying. Here comes that lurker drop at mid left, but it's immediately intercepted. There's too many cannons to really do anything. Okay, another good storm. Just crazy damage with storms this game. Just insane. I hope 815 has gone Hive at least by now. I mean, we're almost 25 minutes into the game. You need... Okay, he's desperate. He tries to send out a DT to try and snipe some lurkers. Not able to get any. There's just way too much Zerg. Once again, great storms, but great micro from 815 to limit the damage. Another good storm. That Templar got killed with energy. That one got killed. Archon dies. Just like when you're in a position like this, what can you do as Protoss? I feel like the only thing he could have done was build a shuttle and start dropping top right. But, you know, the last time we saw top right, there was like 12 Hydras sitting there. I don't even think that would have worked. And it's still no Hive. 815 is really playing with fire here. I mean, he's on 2 bases. Like, his army is strong, there's no doubt about it. But so is Ruins. And Zerg is still stuck on just +2 upgrades. Protoss has +3. The storms are magnificent. I don't think I've ever seen storms be this valuable the entire game. Ruin has now gotten a supply lead, which is crazy. By the way, probes died somewhere because we're at 33, or I missed something. Okay, another good storm. Dude, what is this game? 815 is running out of money, by the way. Look at his money. He only has 200 minerals left. 1,400 gas. Is he really going to let this slip? Protoss's goon count is crazy huge. Yeah, now finally going to send all that stuff at bottom right. But I don't even know if that's going to be enough to change the tides here. It looks like Protoss actually has critical mass to finally get out of this contain. That Templar that's been at mid-left should have a lot of energy. It's been sitting there for a very long time. There goes one storm. Another storm. Another storm. How did this... Zerg is down 20 supply. How? Down 20 supply, down 16 workers. So it's down 27 supply and 16 workers. So it's like he's down 40 army supply, and he only has 37 army supply in general. Protoss won. This army can't be stopped. I can't believe this. There's a zealot killing that hatchery down there. How did this happen? This is unbelievable. Power of upgrades, man. The power of upgrades and storm. These goons are just immortal. Bottom right's dead. That puts Zerg on 1 base, soon to be 0 bases, as Zealots move to top right. All he can do is save some of these drones. He's attacking a base that has 6 cannons. This is not going to work. This is over. I legitimately can't believe this. I thought for sure the game was over in the beginning, with Ruin having such a huge supply lead. Then the drops, especially after the probes dying, I thought, that's it. Zerg's done it. And it solidified my idea when he got onto the high ground with his massive army. But now, Ruin has put Zerg on no mining bases, and there's the GG. Unreal. Oh my gosh. That is one of the closest PVZs I've really ever seen. Look at the resources. Oh, well, you guys can't see the resources, but 815 mined out. Mined 8 or 11,000 more resources than Ruin, and it still didn't matter. Wild game. Okay, so Ruin, he's going to go up 1-0 in the series, but that was a marathon game. Let's go into game 2 now. I have a feeling 815 is not going to stand for another 30-minute game. Cancel it, man. Go that 5 pool. Either way, in the bottom right, we do have 815, and in the bottom left, we do have Ruin. So this time we've gotten close spawns. You can't necessarily spawn close on Apocalypse, but definitely can here, obviously. And we saw the Fast Scout last game. I wonder if he's going to Fast Scout again, or if maybe just going like Blind Forge would be good. I think after a game like that versus 815, it could be pretty likely that it could be like a 5 pool or a 9 pool. And in that sense, maybe you do just want to immediately rush the Forge so that you can, potentially cannon your main and try and save it. You're really kind of gambling here with a 1 in 3 chance to scout them first. So I think that would actually be a smart move. We see that the probe has gone back, and now the probe goes back out. This is probably just going to be a 9 gate, but I still think a rush Forge would be not bad. Okay, there's the gateway. And we're off to the races. Which direction are we going to go? Gonna go right. Okay, and he's gonna get lucky here and find him first. Not gonna be able to prevent the hatchery, but that's fine. Still gonna have that early zealot pressure, and this is one of those maps where you can get your zealots into really good positions behind the mineral lines. So I still think that he's going to be able to get some damage done. Now this probe is, I think, trying to act like he's cannoning, but he's actually not. Either way, 815 is not reacting to it. He hasn't sent a single drone down, and now that he sees the gateway, he knows that there's no chance of that. Immediate pool, I think this was an 11 hatch 10 pool. So lowish eco opener, or, the lowish eco version of this build, I mean. And drone. I imagine this is just going to go out and build that third base, probably at mid-right. Just like he did last game. Zealot on the move. Oh, that probe might die, by the way. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's going to have to turn that bad boy around. He's going to pylon block. It could be nice. Oh, good micro. Good micro. Wow, even does the moving shot, the turnaround shot. Oh, but he did what he needed to do, is he bought time for the zealot to get here, and now this is going to be denied. Can he actually get the drone killed, though? That is the question. 6 lings. Okay, there we go. And it's going to be a 310 gas. All right. So much later lair. Obviously, the tech is much later for Ruin also. Got to keep that in mind. Okay, and it does get pushed away, those 8lings. And the other zealots smartly retreated. So in the end, what did Protoss get? He got a delayed hatchery. He forced out a lot of lings. But it wasn't some crazy amount. It is 12. But I think 12 is a good number here, since it is going to be 4 zealots pretty soon. Uh-oh. Is it going to be massling? Ooh, okay, could be massling. But unfortunately, 815 did not account for that single zealot out on the map, and he will see that there's more lings being built. That's a battery. Okay, Forge, he needs cannons, man. He needs 2 cannons here. Gas got spent. Not sure if it's on lair or speed. Maybe since that... Oh, there's an opening! But he doesn't take advantage of it. Maybe because the zealot scouted more links, he's not going to build anymore. Oh, this is a really good micro, by the way. Oh my gosh. I take back what I said. He does not need 2 cannons. He just needs the zealots in the battery, but they need to get into position. 815's all in with this. He's built more lings. It must be for speed. Cannon's done. This is not going to work. There's 0 chance of this working now. The gateway is low. So, well, I guess in that sense, there's not 0% chance. But the battery is so strong. I do wish that Ruin had built a second cannon in case this exact thing happens. Because now, if the gate falls, he's only got 3 zealots, which a lot of them have already been damaged. They're only alive because of the battery. So they're kind of weak, right? And once the gate falls, you have no more production at all. It also only has 1 cannon. So speed, I don't even know why these zealots are out this far. Why are they there? They need to get in the wall. Oh, this is a mistake. Okay, this was the moment that 815 was waiting for, and bye-bye, game over. This base is dead. All these zealots are dead. All these probes are dead. And the gateway is dead. And Ruin, you had an amazing hold, but you didn't read the situation. Good enough. Well, I think he's dead, but maybe he's not. The battery's still doing work. So many probes have died. He didn't take down the gateway. What? Okay, but he gets in. That's a lot of probes, a lot of links to be in the main. Yeah, more links and going across the map. He needs to get rid of the gate. I mean, that's the thing he needs to get rid of the most. Out of all things to kill, got to kill the gate. Instead, he's running by. He gets the cannon again, but there's 5 zealots here, 4 zealots. The battery is doing immense work. Down to 13 probes. It's still not enough. He's not mining, essentially. He's got so many probes pulled. What is this, 7 probes pulled? Yeah, now he finally gets the gate, and this is going to be all she wrote. Damn. Just like that, we're going to have a tied-up series, 1-1. There it is. GG comes out. But at least Ruin will have his map pick now. But yeah, that's a heartbreaking way to lose. You have good usage of your probe and zealot. You hold the first attack really well with the battery. Lost, what, like 1 zealot, I think? Didn't lose your gate. Had big econ. Got your cannon up. But just too greedy, man. Let's get into game 3 now. We're going to be going into retro. So, in the top left, we do have Ruin, whereas in the bottom left, we do have 815. And I think 5 pulling here or 4 pulling here would be a nice move, but of course, with the additional drone being built, that's not going to happen anymore. I think that Ruin would not have expected a 4 pull or a 5 pull. But you know, I could be wrong, but I still would have loved to see it. Either way, 815 going the wrong direction with the Overlord, not going to find him first. And I wonder if Ruin will just go for the gate again. You know, he did well with the opener. Like, the initial stages of the build was great. It was just the follow-up. It didn't react to what he saw. So if I was him, I would probably open gate again and just, you know, clean up my mid-game, or I guess early mid-game. So far, we've seen 815, 12 hatch every game, and he's going to go for it once more. You know, we saw this last season with Shine, where when I think of Shine, you know, I think of 9 pool, over pool, you know, 5 pool, stuff of that nature quite often. But the majority of the games from him also were some 12 hatches. Uh-oh, we've got Cannon Rush, and I think Ruin is thinking the same things as I am. It's like, dude, you've gone pool or a hatch first in both games. You haven't scouted with a drone in either of the games either, so you're like just blind. You're completely blind. You're just really relying on me not cannon rushing. And I think this is going to be a great move on this 4-player map. There's the probe. The drone is here, though. Oh, there's the pylon. Uh-oh. Is it going to be a fake? Well, I know it's not a fake, but what I mean is he going to act like it's a fake. Can he pop through? Oh, perfection! That's how it's done. And there were no additional drones pulled. This base is dead. Oh. Huh. For a second, I thought that the drone might be able to range the cannon. That would have been crazy. Finally, more drones are being built, or being sent. But isn't this too late? This is too late. This can't work. Yeah, this is a dead hatch. Or he's gonna cancel it. Either one's really bad. There's the cancel. Saves the drone at least, and he will take mid-left in response. The cannon's so far away from the ramp that Lings should be able to get out. So I guess we're just going to have a weird mid-game. Wow, hatch in the main. Alright, so if I was Protoss and I saw this, I would Nexus one cannon, and I would rush as fast as I possibly can to Citadel, because to me this smells like 3-hatch Hydra. I really do think that that's what it's going to be. Or 4-hatch Hydra. Either way, it's going to be a lot of Hydras, I imagine. Gateway coming down. Nexus was already started. One cannon as expected. No additional Lings. And in the main, that is a Hydrogen, by the way, right? I think it's at the bottom of his base. So it is going to be 3-hatch Hydra, as expected. Now, I guess the question for Ruin is, will he be able to tell whether it's an all-in Hydra play or not? Because clearly the Hydras need to be built to clear out the cannon. But you don't have to continue building them if you want to play a macro game, right? You could just take a fourth hatch, technically third base. So we'll see if he wants to use this as an all-in. Probe still hasn't gotten in, so he still has no idea what the follow-up is, but like I said, I feel like this is, because of the hatch placement, this just feels so tailor-made for 3-hatch Hydra. I can't imagine Protoss not recognizing that this is most likely 3-hatch Hydra. Cybernetics, I think, started in the main, so he should have that completing pretty soon. I really do hope that he goes immediate Citadel here. He's going to need it ASAP, as the Hydras almost have speed. Drone cycle, okay, so it's going to be like a 973 with, you know, obviously no 3 at another base. The 3, it's going to be like a, what, a 12-7 probably? Something along those lines. Probe still doesn't get in. Lings have done a really good job to push this out. I see a Stargate in Protoss's base. And I hear cancel, and usually when they cancel, it means they're all inning. So, Hydras should be on the way. Oh, there's Zealots at mid-left, though. Probe is finally going to get in, and it looks like though, and he's going to spot one Hydra, but did he actually notice, is the question. Looks like those Zealots at the third base have also confirmed that there's Hydras. I'm not sure how much damage they actually did. I noticed that one probe is lower, or one drone died, but not really anything else. So I'm going to say he probably got a drone and that's it, or he forced a sunken or something. But he needs to cannon up ASAP. He's already got 4, so Ruins read this perfectly. 4 cannons. Now this is where it comes into play. You gotta know your opponent. How likely is it that this guy continues to all in? If you're playing 8-15, I think it's highly likely. If you're playing someone like Jaedong, also I think highly likely. You know, almost anybody else, it's gonna be tough to get a read on, I imagine. But so far, it's just non-stop Hydras. 5th and 6th cannon also coming. Gateway getting taken down. Gateway's just now starting once again in Ruin's base. He's supply blocked. That's pretty bad. He also has an Artosis pylon, but I don't think that's really going to come into play here. Citadel is almost done, so speed hasn't even started. Templar Archive hasn't even started. No Templars are coming. No Storm, like, literally for like 3 minutes. This could be pretty hard to stop. I actually don't think 6 cannons is enough. Oh, here we go. He's going in on it. Not very many Zealots. Already 2 of the cannons have died. 3, 4. Not many Hydras left over. Gets rid of all the Zealots, and now he's going to start knocking down some probes. Okay, he's got, what, 10 Hydras? I think he's done it. Well, if he... Oh, well, he's not going to jump on it. He doesn't realize that there's only 2 cannons. Instead, he's going to get this Forge, which is great, but I really thought he could have ended it right there. Now Ruin actually has a breath of fresh air to get some cannons up as 2 more, 3 more complete. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could have won there. That's a little unfortunate for him, but it's not like he's out of it just yet. He's done a lot of damage, but it's kind of the same situation as last game. The worker count is massively in favor of Protoss. This time around, I don't know if you can recover from a probe deficit like this. It's only 4 hatches. Once again, moving in. Gonna kill 1-2 cannons, but he doesn't kill any of the zealots. Yeah, it doesn't look like this is gonna work. Zerg is just so mega all in. Only 4 hatches. You know, maybe it's different if they have 6 hatch and they can do, you know, 12 drones at once. You know, 18 drones at once. Something like that. But with just 4, I don't see how you transition out of this. This feels like it can only be Hydras for the rest of the game, and that's exactly what we're seeing so far. Up to, what is it, 14 Hydras, 15 Hydras? Something like that. More cannons. The problem for Zerg now is obviously he's all in, but second is speed is going to finish in a moment. Also, I just now realized +1 weapon already completed. It didn't actually get canceled. So not only is Zerg all in, Protoss has his gates up, Protoss has speed, Protoss has +1 weapon, Protoss has his Corsair still alive. He sees that it's literally just non-stop Hydras. So he can just sit here and build 1 billion cannons. Still Hydra. Look, he still spots another Hydra getting produced. Just has a full read on Zerg. I don't think Zerg can wait much longer. The zealot count is getting to be ridiculous. What is it, 10 right now? He's got like a minute and a half before Storm. So maybe you wait a minute, but by then all these cannons are going to be done. There's going to be like 15 zealots. Alright, here he goes. This is probably the last attack. I think there's way too many cannons. Okay, 2 zealots already die. Okay, these zealots are melting, actually. Holy smokes. 1 cannon gone. 2nd cannon gone. 3rd gone. 4th gone? No way. Probes helping out. 5th gone. 6th gone. 7th. Oh my gosh. Ruined. Is he really gonna get taken out? He had so much stuff. The power of SH, I guess, man. Well, I can tell you this. 8:15 needs to end this game. He's got the Hydras. There's 2 cannons, man. You see it. He goes. 1 cannon gone. He's gonna get both cannons at once. These Templars don't have energy. I can't believe that Zerg won this. That really wasn't enough cannons? It looked like so many. Oh my gosh. And the Corsair had full vision the entire time. He knew what this was. And he still couldn't hold it. Supply block is huge. Storm is done. Okay, another cannon dies. Oh, those are whiffs. He needs the storms that he had last game. But he whiffs both of them. Zerg being supply block can't reinforce that effectively, but he's breached the natural. That's all he had to do. Nexus is gonna die. These zealots can't engage that. Zerg doesn't have to go up the ramp. Zerg can just sit here now. He can just sit outside the base. Are those cannons? No, those are pylons. 5 gate on 1 base. I don't think you can support 5 gate on 1 base. Just being honest here. This is just like a feels bad, man. Okay, well that's not a feels bad. That's a feels good for Ruin. Oh, well, he loses the Templar. I thought it was a feels good until he lost that. Hydras. Are they going to get another Templar kill? The answer is yes, they do. Hydras in the main. They're going to snipe. What are they going to snipe? Oh, he's going really far with this. Okay, he's just melting the probes. Down to 17 workers. 4 more. I don't think I've seen this before. The good old 4 Hydra run by in my main to snipe probes. There goes another one. And he's still building Hydras. He's literally just, that's it. Nothing else. Oh, again, Protoss is now going to be on the move. I think this is the one time where he may have an opportunity to make something happen. Zerg's doing a really good job to kite both sides. Gonna dodge that. Force out another Archon. Storm is available. He needs to use it. There's a good one. Yeah, that was actually a really good one, but I'm still not sure if that's enough. Hydra's gonna blow up that Archon. Okay. Protoss, can they counter? Zerg lost a lot in that engagement. I can tell you this, Protoss can't turn around here. He's just got to try and bully his way up. Hydras are trying to snipe that Templar. Ends up not getting it. What? He GG'd! He didn't even try and fall back. Oh my gosh. So I was wrong on both games, Apocalypse and this one. Crazy games. You thought for sure Ruin had it, 815, killing all the cannons. You thought he must have it, but I guess bleeding off all those Hydras to try and get probe kills just allowed Protoss to have critical mass, and that means actually 815 is going to be the one eliminated. And that does set us up at least for a new matchup. We're going to have PVT this time. So let's get into it. Sharp versus Ruin. Alrighty, this time, once again in the top left we do have our Protoss, whereas in the bottom left, no longer Zerg. We've got Sharp. So we saw, even though Sharp fell to Ssak there, I think he had really good builds. Good macro. I wonder if he'll open gasless here. This is a 4-player map. You don't get gas stolen that often, in my experience. But Protoss did spawn on the top side, so if he was to scout, you know, a bottom base, whether it's bottom right or bottom left, he's going to get in there and get to the gas geyser pretty quickly. So we could see him try and make a gas steal, but since there's no probe being sent out, I guess that's not going to happen. I don't think you can go gate and then gas steal. That would be pretty wild. That depot position to me looks like it's going to be a Rax on the left, and that means it's most likely going to be an 11 gas or 12 gas. Or, okay, actually, maybe not. That depot is not as far to the right as I thought. Where's that Rax going to go? It's just going to go at the ramp. Near the ramp. Okay, same thing. And Ruin, we're at 11 supply, but there's no gas. Okay, so this could be a couple of Zealots with this build. Maybe not, as the 12 gas goes down. And I think also 12 gas for Sharp. So everything so far very normal. And Terran is actually going to be the first one to scout. Okay. And he's going to go the right direction. He'll find Protoss in the first spot, and he'll be happy to see that he's got a 12 gas. Versus a normal opener, it's not 12 Nexus. This guy didn't get away with absolute murder. And he does have it so quickly that even if it was a 12 Nexus, you know, he could transition this into a Mega All-In if he wanted to continue to mine gas and follow up with like a second factory or starport or something along those lines. And despite having the later gas timing, Ruin has not built a Zealot. Isn't 11 gas pretty standard in PvT? With him going for the 12 gas, you know, it's not the biggest of deals, but I thought for sure that 11 was the standard move. Either way, Ruin, I think he used 50 gas already on his single goon. No range just yet. And SCV has taken a lot of damage, so actually, he needs to get out of there, I think. I don't think he's long for this world. In fact, the probe may end up killing him. Okay. Gate Nexus. Or, sorry, Goon Nexus, I mean, no range. Terran sees it, and they've seen it from the get-go. This could be an FD. I think FD is a good punish to this. You know, 6 Marines, it's not a huge commitment. 1 tank, 1 Vulture, again, not a huge commitment. Your command center's not going to be that far delayed, and you're going to have a lot of pushing power. What? That goon took a lot of damage, and all of a sudden, Ruin is already in deep trouble. First off, lost so much health. Second, he saw that 4 Marines have been built. There's no reason to have 4 Marines. You know that 3 Marines will beat a goon, especially when you know there's no range. So he should know that a timing should be coming, but as we get a look at the main of Sharp, he actually doesn't have more Marines being built. I'm surprised. I also saw that the Tech Lab was not upgrading, or the add-on, I mean. Not the Tech Lab. There's a tank that I was expecting. I'm surprised that there's no additional Marines. Why? Now he's building more Marines, but, you know, Marines are like the slowest unit in the game, aren't they? Like, they're just so incredibly slow. It's not going to be synced up with the rest of the army that quickly. Vulture also should be on the move. We got an SCV with the army also. Repair can just be so clutch here. And with it only being 3 goons, there's nothing here that he can't one-shot anything. So this is really rough. Ruin needs his re-race up. Mine is already down. Uh-oh. Probes being pulled. Okay, that was a good surround with the probes. Picks off, I think, 2 probes, so he's limited the damage. No goons have died so far either, which is great. And he even micros back that single hurt goon. So far everything went really well for Ruin. He's up 6 workers now. Another Marine is just going to bleed off. This really did not work out at all. I thought this was going to go much better than it actually did. Okay, well, it was going much better than I thought. Now all of a sudden all these goons are one-shottable. There goes one. Almost the second one. Okay, there goes the second one. The tank is one-shottable also. He needs to just run away. Another probe falls. Went from 25 to 19 back up to 26 to 25. Another goon falls. And he saves the tank. So this was really well done from Sharp. Evens up the eco. Got good trades. Marines and Vultures for goons. Another goon dies. And there's still no observer. He may lose another goon. Okay, there's the observer. So in Sharp's main, I think that building that went down in his base, I think Starport would be way too late. That's gotta be an eBay. Yeah, that's an eBay. So he's gonna have 1 fact. Soon to be 2nd fact. I didn't notice an armory, but shuttle could be coming pretty soon. So he needs to at least get turrets up if he's not gonna have Goliath out. So far he's doing a good job to deny the 3rd base. Protoss doing what he can with the goons. Clearing out mines, you know, trying to pressure a little bit. Oh, okay, that's 4 goons. Yeah, you're gonna have to back 5 goons actually. This counter could be really strong, but I hear siege mode has completed, and with siege mode done, he's not gonna jump on this. Well, he might. He sees there's no mines. There goes 2 tanks, or 2 goons. The repair was pretty decent. And, okay, he's gonna trade 1 tank for 3 goons. Pretty worth. And top middle 3rd expansion, I can see has been delayed still. I think that's the 3rd factory going down for Sharp in his main. So this could be a 5-fact timing. He's killed so many goons that I really think that this is a smart move. Also, if you look at his gas, he's got 500 gas despite not mining his natural gas. So he's got a lot of gas banked up. He's got big econ or big mineral income because he's not mining his 2nd gas. So flooding factories, I think, is a wise move here. Protoss needs to get in here and see what's going on. The observer now is going to see a 3rd factory, is going to see an armory. So, I mean, it's not like this is a dead giveaway that this is going to be a timing, but I think the timing could have been good. Support bay. Okay, we saw this. Didn't we see this in the first game that Ruin played today where he went for like the delayed Reaver? But I don't remember it having much success. It seemed like it was kind of a big liability, to be honest. So hopefully he can do some work with it this time around. Okay, there's the 4th and 5th factory. This could even be like a 6-fact timing. You know, just go with +1 weapon. +1 weapon takes about 3 minutes to finish. It's technically slightly slower than that, or slightly faster than that. But if he does go into 6-fact, this would really line up nicely with that. It can be kind of hard to push on Retro, though, like up the high ground, so he would have to go through the center, I think, especially with these spawns. But we'll see if that's what he opts into. The Observer is doing a good job to spot everything. Got the probes transferring to top middle, so this is going to be 3-base Protoss. And Protoss, despite all the damage, does have a sizable supply lead, 93 to 70. I was not expecting it to be that big of a gap so far. So, I mean, I must have misread how much damage was done, because it really did look like a lot of goons died, but maybe I'm wrong? Either way, 10 supply or 10 worker lead also, so big econ, decently large supply gap. Reaver's out. He's got his nat gas up and running, so he can afford to go into some high-tech units. Got the Citadel coming in. I would love to see Templar Archive. I don't think he needs Arbiter this game. Just Templar Archive. And this turret is going to go bye-bye. That was a nice, juicy shot. Okay, there we go. I was just about to say this. I think Ruin needs to start amping up his gateway count. He knows that this guy's on 5 facts. He knows the timing of the armory. This really does look like it could be like a +1, you know, a kill timing. So because of that, he definitely needs to respect it and get his gateway count up. But instead, Sharp is slowly sieging towards the center, which means he's most likely going to try and take bottom middle. So maybe we are just in for a 3rd base, potentially long game. More shuttles being produced. You know, it's just the style these days. Mass Shuttle Man, incredibly hard to stop. Another Goliath gets taken out. Vulture's gone. I think there's a goon on the ramp at top middle, so these vultures aren't going to do anything, but there is no... Okay, there is a pylon wall around his nexus, I was thinking. There's no pylon wall because I didn't see it at the ramp, but with it being around the nexus, vulture run by is not going to work, so actually... Protoss is safe there. Another goon dies. Well, this is a gift. Another goon dies, and maybe a couple of zealots will here will die too. Well, I'm still curious at what Sharp's doing, because I thought for sure that an SCV would go bottom middle, for example, but he hasn't moved there. He's now moving towards mid left. That was a cute try right there to try and surround these tanks, but doesn't get it. Well, I mean, he might get one, but he's going to trade a lot for it. What? Did the Reaver die? Somehow Reaver died. Okay, it is a push. Sharp is finally on the move with the majority of his army. Well, maybe it's not a push. They were just taking so long to get across the map, man. I don't think a push can work. I think you just gotta take your 3rd base. I think supplies are too skewed in Protoss's favor, even with the +1. I think also the shuttle giving the safety to the Templars, you know, the assumed Templars, is just gonna be so massive that I do like this fob to go for the command center and instead take his 3rd base and, you know, just use that as a stepping stone to push later. We still haven't seen Sharp's main in a long time. I actually am wondering if he has a starport, but I don't think he actually does. There's Templar Archive. Yeah, there's no starport, man. So this is literally just 1-1. He's going to go into 7 factories. Okay, interesting. Is this just going to be at max 1-1 timing? It really does seem like it's going to be. Nexus at top right. So gonna start getting other mains. That's nice for Protoss. Protoss needs to get his Templars though. We're starting to get to the point where Terran's reaching supplies that are, you know, basically critical mass. If you have one bad engagement as Protoss, it can really snowball unless you can get a lot of tank kills. These Vultures are going to be denied. And without a starport, Sharp's going to have a really tough time, you know, doing damage to any of these mineral lines. He's going to need a dropship to go top right, dropship to get top middle. I think he's just going to have to accept that he's not going to be really able to do anything about these bases. That is a lot of zealots. Spider mines are going to be incredibly strong. Almost getting flashbacks to that one game that I casted on StarCast. It was like Bisu versus, I think it was actually Sharp also, where Bisu had like 85% zealots, and they just all ran into mines and died. Hopefully Ruin doesn't have that happen to him. We got a 15 minute Reaver drop. Alright, bro. I think that's the science facility right there, so no +2 anytime soon. Takes down the Goliath. And just gonna skedaddle on out of there. I'm worried that Sharp's SCV count is too low. 52. Well, he is gonna be mined out in his main pretty soon. So maybe it's not that worrisome. I guess I'm more thinking like, if he doesn't 3-base timing here with Max, is he going to try and take bottom middle? And if he does that, that's what I'm worried about, is that the 3rd base won't be really saturated, and he won't be able to get, you know, like 10 factories, 11 factories, where he can just have 1 million units to kind of match the production that Ruin has. Pretty much just how these games have gone today. Not a lot of action. We're just waiting now for someone to make a move. There's 4 shuttles, 4 of them, and they get all the way into the main. There's 1 Templar, a Reaver, a random Reaver. Storm goes off. Does the Reaver not have Scarabs? Why aren't they firing? It died immediately. Okay, this was pretty much a dud attack. He lost a lot of Zealots. He lost 2 Templars. He lost a Reaver. I think Terran, lost a tank? I don't even know what else he lost, but that was not worth. Also, he lost 3 out of the 4 shuttles, so expensive losses here. And all of a sudden, this gives a little window of hope for Sharp. Protoss now going to be taking top right, though, so 5 bases. Or the natural, I mean. Terran's still not maxed out yet, but getting close. He's going to have a huge army with just 50 workers. This is going to be a near impossible army to stop. He did kind of have his science facility delayed for a while, so I'm not sure how close +2 weapon is, but if he can have +2 weapon kick in, I actually don't think Protoss can stop it. Oh, the tanks, they're so clumped. But that Templar got absolutely murdered. A couple more Templars fall. We're on the move. Like I said, mines are going to be critical in this. Oh, he sniped another Templar. He's killed so many Zealots. He just needs to build a depot there, man. Sharp is going across the map. Oh, Protoss not willing to commit. I think that's smart. He could definitely not commit there. He would have gotten crushed. Shuttle. Storm. A little bit of damage. That is so many tanks. How do you get so many tanks? I guess you can build that many tanks when you're just sitting there for 18 minutes long. Now he's got so many tanks here. There's not that much vulture support though. He killed all the Templars. Great focus fire. I think Sharp's done it. Probes get intercepted, and he notices them. Notices them. So he gets what, like 10 probe kills right there. Tanks are on his. Oh, they're on the doorstep. There's no more shuttles either. There's no Reaver. There's no Templar. I think there's one. Okay, there's 2 shuttles. There's no Goliath, so maybe there's a chance that he can get a crazy mine drag. But there's no mines here. Also, the vessel should have D-Matrix. So many tanks. Oh my gosh, supplies have plummeted for Ruin. He was in such a good position with the 5 bases, like the big econ, but the drops just didn't do anything. The Reaver, again, didn't do anything either. I'm questioning the usage of the Reaver. Like Reaver is good, of course, defensively and offensively, but if it's just going to be for defense, I don't think that's enough at this level. Like, it's got to do something. It's got to get some damage. Even if it just forces SCVs to be pulled, that's at least something. Now, he's going to lose his natural. He's going to lose his 3rd base. There's still been no D-Matrix, by the way. There's those right there. So I don't even think he's going to kill this army. Yeah, this can get cleaned up. All these probes are going to die. Look at how many SCVs are there, by the way, or probes are there. So there are so many probes there that base is almost mined out. So this is going to be a huge loss. He's going to go down to like 25 workers. Okay, maybe that was a little extreme. Oh, no, it wasn't. He went down to 28. 27, in fact. Crazy damage. There's something at the top side of the map. Okay, those must be shuttles. I was like, there's no way he built, like, arbiters or something. Yeah, shuttles are going to, I think, transfer all the probes to top right. But this game is probably just done. This base is going to fall. Sharp took the center, so he's got 4 bases. It's 6 shuttles here. What? Pretty good storms, but not enough, man. So many zealots. So many vultures. Gets cleaned up, and 17 probes is all that he's got now. 1 base mining. DT, can he save the day? No. Not today. One of the few cases where the DT can't do it. We're really just waiting for the GG. I think this is going to be the last stand here. He needs to kill this base and all the SCVs. Good storm. Kind of a whiff on the SCVs. He actually has killed no SCVs, by the way. He's still at 54. There it is, GG. Alright. So well done from Sharp. Unfortunately, once again, Ruin just can't transition this lead into anything meaningful in the mid and late game. He kind of just got slowly run over. I mean, there's not much more else to say about it. The tank count was just massive. The drops really didn't do any damage. So we're now going to be going into the final, or potentially the final game of the day. Let's see if Ruin can get some redemption here and take a victory for Team Protoss. And once again, he has chosen Apocalypse and gotten top middle once again. So up there, we've got Ruin. Whereas in the bottom right, we do have Sharp. So, okay, you know, last game I was talking about how not likely to gas steal. Well, could be likely this time. And remember, he even sent out a fast scout versus Zerg. So I think we're probably going to see that same opener, Pylon Scout. And this time, probably going to have a successful gas steal, as Sharp has spawned at mid-right. Last season, we saw Sharp kind of pick apart Best in a couple of those games, and what was it, the top 4 match, right? It really looked like Sharp was going to dominate, but in the end, Best still got the better of him. But, you know, we haven't seen a lot of dropship play today. Other than the TVTs, of course. TVT was Drop Mania, but I don't really consider that dropship play simply because dropship is such a staple. What I'm talking about is in the TVPs, we really haven't seen much drops. I guess we have seen a lot of drops in the sense that Zerg has gone drops, which you don't really see that often. So I take back what I said. I guess it's literally just the Terran has not dropped in the Protoss matchup much today. We're gonna have the racks coming down in the main. This looks like it's gonna be 12 Nexus again. Okay, so gonna get away with murder. This is going to be an 11 gas from Sharp. I like this build the most versus 12 Nexus. I like the ability that you have to run in here with even just the first Vulture and snipe probe kills. You can even get probe kills with the Marine and the SCV. But of course, Sharp's gonna have to find this or scout him quickly. And I imagine that's exactly what's gonna happen right now as the SCV goes out. Just one gate. I think it's a little too early for the second gate, but I could be wrong. Okay. Probe has mercy on that SCV soul, but that one doesn't. Gonna be chasing him, and Sharp is gonna see the bad news. It's a 12 Nexus. You know, Apocalypse has, the decent rush distance in my opinion, but at least Sharp saw it from, not necessarily a mile away, but he's known about it for a while, so he'll be able to build continuous Marines. He's already taken a little bit of damage on that one. What I'm most concerned about is his SCV has already taken a lot of damage. So, like, building a bunker all of a sudden isn't very scary because even a single probe will deny that. Okay. He is doing the move that I like, which is the single Marine, single SCV attack. This can force those transferred probes off the mineral line. Well, it could. It looks like the SCV already died. And this Marine was already dead. Okay, this is a nightmare. This is not how it's supposed to go. Probe kills the Marine. I don't want to say it's over already, but this is a huge deficit for Sharp. He's got his first Vulture out, but by the time it gets there, probably the Zealot can buy enough time for the Goon to get out. Now, someone last season double expanded. Was it Sharp? I actually think it was Sharp that double expanded off of just like a couple Vultures. Which is why you probably see that Zealot at the top side going towards top right. The Zealot, or the Vulture, I mean, actually got into the natural and gets... Oh, it didn't register! Oh, that is so unlucky. He should have gotten 2 probes there. It still would have been Protoss favored, but he would have evened up the worker count even just so slightly. What's this? More Marines being built. What are you up to, Sharp? Does he need more Marines? Like, he had 3 in the bunker. He's got mines. He's got, a lot of Vultures. It can't be for a push. He doesn't have any tanks. This is weird to me. Almost a 10 worker lead by now. Up 9. I didn't actually see in Ruin's main what the tech follow-up was. Imagine it's Robo, but it could still be said. Oh, that's a Stargate at top right, by the way. That is a Stargate. Wow, that's good micro. Avoids the mine and kills the Vulture. Really nice. Already got the +1 weapon spinning on the air. I think that's a 3rd factory. Sharp really needs to scan, but you don't rush Academy with builds like this to try and catch up. You're facing a 12 Nexus. If you're already down probes and you build the add-ons, then you're just down even more workers. And how are you going to make a timing work after that, right? So it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So I really just don't see how Sharp comes back in this game. I mean, this is just such a massive advantage. Now, I will say this. Sharp has done a good job with the Vultures to get some goon damage, you know, to prevent a third Nexus from coming down. I also want to say that there wasn't a probe with that army. So Sharp may be thinking like, wait a minute. You have 12 Nexus. You haven't really overbuilt units. I haven't seen a Reaver. You haven't sent a probe with your army down to bottom left. What could you really be doing? It's got to be either carriers or Arbiter. And I think that's why he's out on the map right now. I think he thinks that it must be carriers, and he's right, because DT could have been on the field, and he hasn't seen that either. Oh no. Did Ruin mess up? Oh no, the mine drag. Okay, he gets a tank. He's gonna get only one of them. Oh my gosh. The last tank survives. Or it's one of them survives with just one hit. Sharp has to do a lot of damage. He's down 15 workers. He needs siege mode is what he needs. Siege mode would be able to range the Nexus and there would be no answer from Protoss because Protoss didn't get a Reaver. There's a turret. I think at this point you know it's carriers. It can't be anything else. Wow. He kills the goon. It's a full wall, by the way, now. So Protoss can't really do anything to these units, as I see a couple Vultures die, of course. That's just how things go. Where's the Siege? Siege would shut down the mineral line. Protoss needs a shuttle, man. Like, I realize there's a turret and there's Marines here, but he's not getting out unless he has a shuttle. It's only 3 factories. Okay, he's bullying his way in. Starting to knock down probes. Now it's 41 to 38. 38 to 38. Still no siege is crazy to me. Another goon dies. He's like on max range. Okay, there's the carriers. There's only a single turret, so this will be pushed back, I guess. Now his strategy has been shown. I don't think that's enough DPS. Yeah, there's only 2 interceptors, man. What are you doing? Please, where is Siege? He needs to get rid of that SCV is what he needs to do. Okay, I think he finally sieged up. Yeah, I can hear it going off. Wow, he doesn't even have an armory. It just now started. These 2 turrets, even though there's not many, it pushes back these carriers. He's now in range of the probe line. Okay. He's going to have 4 carriers pretty soon, but this has done way more damage than it should have done. Sell it. Oh, there's nothing really to support the tanks anymore. Or is there? Oh, gets 2 tanks. That's what he needed. That's what he needed. Gets rid of that tank in the back also, and it looks like there's going to be a hold. And with there only being 3 factories and no armory, I think Ruin should be able to hang on here. Yeah, any units that get rallied across the map are just going to take so much damage from the carriers. That tank's already halfway dead. He's going to repair it up, though. Probes are getting blasted, man. He's down to 27 workers. These 2 carriers are doing a good job to prevent reinforcements, but he's still just unable to deal with these 2 tanks. Ruin's minerals are extremely low. There's the 4 carriers. This may just be enough that Karen... Oh, there might be actually Cloak at bottom right. I see that there's double starport down there. There's no way he only has 3 factories. So it could be Cloak Race. But he knows that there's no Robo. Does Protoss sniff it out? Protoss needs to find these starports, man. There's the first couple Goliaths, but there's not a lot of turrets. I think Protoss is thinking like, dude, why do you have no Goliaths? Why are there absolutely zero? You must be hiding something. All the turrets are gonna die. Nexus is dead, by the way. He still hasn't found the starports. It is definitely Cloak Wraith down there. I think, yeah, the carriers see it. The carriers see it with the interceptors. It's not done. Wraith died. Wow, just barely he's going to win this game. Oh, if that cloak completed, he would have won. Because there's no observers. Terran has massive econ. But that means that there's no answer to the carriers. GG comes out, and we've got a tied series, boys. We're going to go to the final game of the day. Crazy. How do these players make these low production attacks work? Like, I just don't understand. Remember, Sharp opened with like 4 Vultures in the beginning versus a 12 Nexus. How? His tank count was tiny, and it still worked. Either way, this is going to be the last game. It is Radeon, so let's get into game 3. Okay, in the bottom right, we do have Sharp. And in the top left, we do have Ruin. So finally, Ruin able to get a win versus Terran, but I mean, it was really close despite having a huge advantage. Still almost died to just a 3-fact. Like, when I'm watching these games, I don't know what it is, but Ruin's unit count just seems much lower at certain times than when I watch other players. So I don't know, is he building too many probes? Is he, not doing it in the right order? Maybe I'm losing my mind and it's actually not the case and Sharp is just a god, but it just looks like it from my perspective. Either way, we do have cross spawns. This is going to be another good 12 Nexus map, especially with these spawns. I think Ruin should consider going for it again. He barely won with a 12 Nexus last game, so it feels like he's going to need to have a big lead to win the third game, in my opinion. So because of that, I hope this is 12 Nexus, but it's not. It's going to be a gate. Sharp, once again, going to have the racks positioned in the forward. At the forward position. Are we going to have an 11 gas this time? He's got the right side mineral boosting. And look at that. There it is. 11 gas for him. I think he also suspects that this could be another 12 Nexus, just because of what I was saying, where, the retro game, he kind of ran Ruin over after he sat there for 15 minutes. But game 2, it was much closer when Ruin had much better econ relative to his own. Cybernetics coming down. I also want to point out we haven't seen a lot of Zealot pressure either. Last game, of course, with the double gate, we had the Zealots come out eventually, but I'm just talking about like just a single Zealot off of your initial gate, just sending it out there and seeing if you can get some damage done versus the Marines. But once again, it's going to be no Zealot. He's just going to go straight into probably, once again, Goon Nexus, no range. There's the 221 factory, so Sharp has crushed his build. Probe is not really going to get to see much other than that there was a single Marine. And Ruin's about to have enough money to put down, range Citadel if he wants. And we'll see if he is. The answer is going to be nope. So as expected, this is just going to be the Nexus follow-up, unless he gets really tricky here and goes straight Robo. Whoa! Whoa! SCV scouted in, but didn't see a Nexus, so he backs off. And now he's going to the wrong base. Okay. That was definitely a miss scout. I don't think you can have a 259 Nexus after going for a Goon opener. So, a bit unlucky there for Sharp. He still doesn't know what's going on. He may be thinking, like, is this guy actually bottom left and I just missed it? Because, I mean, Obviously, he clearly misscouted top left. That's obvious, but I'm saying he didn't really necessarily go that deep at bottom left either. He really doesn't know what the hell is going on. Now he sees, okay, there's the first goon. But this could be a DT. Like, now all he can do is go... Well, I was going to say all he can do is go straight eBay, but I forgot how Terran players play these days. They always rush mines. So, not going to be the case. He can still go for, you know, Starport. He could go for a second factory. He could go for a rushed armory. He could technically go for Academy, but I don't think he's going to. And I think that's the Robo that started right there. And center path to finish. Nexus already done. Worker counts are about where you expect him to be in TVP. Nothing crazy going on there. And Sharp is one of those players that builds a lot of vultures, like off of 2 fact. But because I only see 1 factory, I don't think it's going to be that many. I think it's going to be like maybe 4. Just lay mines everywhere. Wow, he did actually rush Academy. I guess he's thinking like, okay, game 2, this guy, you know, sat in his base. I didn't even get into his main this game. I need to figure out what the heck is going on. So I don't hate the Academy. Vulture is not going to get taken down. And it's going to be 2-gate Robo. I imagine it's probably Observatory at the natural. I don't think it's going to be Sport Bay, at least not just yet. Uh-oh, big hit. Not gonna get killed off, I don't think. Ooh, vultures get in though. Okay, luckily he got rid of one of them. So now the damage is gonna be limited. He gets 1 probe. All right, that was a nice hold. That was really well done. I think with that hold there, Ruin needs to put down another Nexus. This guy opened with, you know, 3 or 4 vultures. You took almost no damage. Of course, you still don't know what the follow-up is because your observer's not out on the map. But this guy can't be pushing you with 1 tank without vulture support. So I think Nexus is the play here. The Reaver has really done almost no damage in any of the games, so just skip that completely. Just go gates and get big econ. As a follow-up, we have, again, the 3 fact. Interesting. And there we go. Nexus coming down. I think this is the perfect move. And I will say that Ruin has taken his nat gas somewhat quickly. I take that back. 60 supply, nat gas, that's not as fast as I actually thought it was. But this does make me think it's going to be carriers, especially with that pylon going up there at the corner. Scan goes off. Not sure exactly what he saw, but if he scanned the natural and he scanned that pylon, I think he should consider that this could be Stargates. And the way that probe is positioned is, it really does look like it's going to be carriers once again. Yep, there's the Stargate, as expected. It is going to be carriers. Okay, so this is going to make it tricky. The scans are so fast that Sharp is going to be able to scan again, probably before even carriers start. We hear another scan go off. And he rushed +1 weapon, right? So he can go for +1 armor as a follow-up, doesn't need to have +2, while also flooding factories. Or he can build a medic and push. What am I watching? These timings are so weird. But this is still going to be a really hard thing to stop. There's a decent amount of vultures. There's, once again, not that many tanks. But the Marines are going to be surprisingly tanky with even a single medic. It also forces Protoss to build units and draw units out of position, so stuff like that can happen. He can go for a potential run by. Ends up clogging the hole really quickly, so that was really nice. But can he get into position to prevent the tanks from getting into position? I don't think so. If Terran has siege, I don't think you can stop this. And I think he does. Or he's about to. Yep, he does. Okay. Big splash hits. Okay, that tank was way too far forward. That's gonna die. Mine drag, not the greatest. his carriers are so late now because of all the goons he had to build and having to deal with this pressure. Now Sharp can start flooding the factories as expected. Ruin's doing what you need to do, which is you loop around and cut off reinforcements. But the thing is the reinforcements are vultures, so they just run by so quickly, taking almost no damage. Sharp is taking a while to kill this third base, and he's not even in range of the probe, so he's not really getting like big eco damage. Uh-oh. Oh no, he's gonna get all of the Dragoons, and he's in the probe line. Now the goons coming through the back are gonna try and make some magic happen. Okay, a lot of the vultures died. He still needs a miracle hold. Tank. Okay, doesn't get that last tank though. Oh, that Marine. The Marine, get off the mine, man. Okay, he actually held it. But it's still going to be a tough follow-up to deal with because, you know, Sharp just building mass vultures. He's ramped up his factory count to like 6 or 7 right now. That's a considerable amount. He's going to go from having zero Goliaths up to a huge amount. He now intercepts the probes again. The goon count has been whittled down. Carriers are strong, but they're really only strong when they're supporting units. Yeah, uh-oh. Oh, for a second I thought the barracks was a factory. So 6 fact, has a lot of gas. He can afford to go non-stop dice, loses some more goons. Oh, again, vulture harass. How does he make this happen? More probes dying. I mean, he only gets 2, but, you know, he also forces more lost mining time, which is amazing. Another goon dies to a mine. It is crazy. There's a reason he's called the Mine King. I mean, this is it. He's just doing so well with so little. And that's, if he has 2 tanks and the rest Goliaths, I think he just wins. Okay, he has 3 tanks. Observer. Oh, the mines. Oh, the mines. He still doesn't have goons. Oh, the mine gets another big connection. Oh, I thought he was going to get another big connection, but it's 4 tanks, 4 Goliaths with rallied Goliaths across the map. The observer's getting taken out. He's been struggling to deal with the mines, even when the observers had nothing to worry about. Oh man, more goons have died. He doesn't have the DPS. There's no interceptors. Oh my gosh. That one even died. He can't kill anything. That died. Another one died. No way. He catches it and kills it? Well, he doesn't kill it, but it's basically dead. This is probably the last stand right here. He's going to lose all of his ground units. All the Goliaths were out of position, and it still didn't matter. Everything gets blown up. And unfortunately for Ruin, he's now down 20 supply. This was, you know, the last game. I can't imagine him holding this with just 2 carriers. He even loses both of them. It wasn't his day, man. Unlucky in the games versus, well, he had luck in some of the games versus 815, but that retro game was wild. I can't believe that 815 made that work. But there's the GG. Sharp's done it. He is going to make it out in 2nd place, so both Terrans make it out. And unfortunately, Ruin and 815 are both going to be eliminated. So let's get a look at today's matchup, I think? Yeah, we're going to get a look at the match result. So we know Sharp took down 815, Ssak took down Ruin. Ssak beat Sharp 2-0 with some epic games. Kind of slow pace, but once the drop started hitting, you know, we started to have a bit of action. Ruin versus 815 on Apocalypse, to me, is game of the day. And then, of course, Sharp taking down Ruin in the final best of 3. So that is it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy the content that we are bringing here at StarCastTV, definitely slam that like button. Definitely subscribe. And if you want to support us monetarily, definitely consider supporting our Patreon at StarCastTV on there. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next group.